Park in Houston, Texas. Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight is game 2 of a 3-game series between the Astros and the Milwaukee Brewers. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jimmy Shays see two teams tied for third place in the NL Central and two left-handed starters who now will probably face 9 or 10 more starts this season, JD, if everything goes according to plan, and can really make an impact on what their teams do.
Yeah, the veteran Mike Hampton going for the Astros tonight, the youngster Manny Parra for the Brewers. It's been an up-and-down season for both of them. You look at Parra, April 9th through June 13th, 3-8 with an ERA of 7.52. Heavy burden on Parra at the start of the year. Sheets and Sabathia out of the rotation. High expectations for Parra and Gallardo to really combine and be a solid 1-2 punch for them. Parra really struggled early, was hurt, spent some time in the minor leagues, but since coming back has pitched well. 3-0 with a 3.94 ERA July 9th through August 3rd. Mike Hampton, a little bit different story. April through the middle of July, he was pretty darn good, 5-5 with an ERA in the low 4s, and really struggled for the rest of July. ERA of 8.28. Last time out, though, very good, and a win against the Giants. First inning has been a big problem for Hampton.
Coming up, as the Brewers and Astros decide who moves into third place tonight, these fans are hoping for an early offensive explosion for the Astros to back Mike Hampton. We'll see if it happens in just a moment. Sports Houston is brought to you by Budweiser, by the Ford F-150, by Jack in the Box, and by the Progressive Insurance Group. Another sultry summer day outside. Inside, it's Milwaukee and Houston on a Saturday night. It's Mike Hampton and Manny Parra. And here's the lineup for Ken Macha's Milwaukee Brewers, who are 54 and 55. It's brought to you by AT&T. Felipe Lopez is the leadoff man. He had another good night last night leading off. He's at second base. It's Mike Cameron in center field. Ryan Braun in left. Prince Fielder at first base. Casey McGee at third base. Bill Hall in right field. J.J. Hardy's the shortstop with Mike Rivera the catcher for Manny Parra.
Mike Hampton making his 20th start of 2009 here tonight. He's 7-8 with an ERA of 5.02. 1-4. League hitting .293 against them. This is his third start against the Brewers. Astros have lost both those games. 2 no decisions for Mike. Defensively, the Astros look like this tonight. They've got Carlos Leon left. Jason Michaels back in there in center field. Had a big night last night. Hunter Pence patrols right. Keppinger, Tejada, Matsui, and Chris Coast on the infield. And Ivan Pudge Rodriguez does the squatting.
Hampton, Rodriguez, and Dewey Robinson just came in about 3 minutes ago from the warm-ups in the bullpen. Prior to this first inning, Mike has had first inning difficulties this season. And perhaps he has changed his warm-up routine. We're not sure about that. We'll see how it goes here as he faces Lopez to lead it off. But first inning difficulties have plagued many a pitcher down over the years, that's for certain. Lopez, a switch hitter, batting right tonight as he leads off, and he takes ball 1. Starting at 303 with 6 homers, 30 runs batted in for Felipe. As a right-handed batter, he is 0 for 8 since joining Milwaukee.
He's well inked.
Yes, he is.
And, some pitchers come out of that bullpen and they just, their stuff isn't there. They don't feel like the ball's leaving their hand well. They're not loose unnecessarily. But that doesn't seem to be the problem with Mike. I mean, his stuff in the first inning is fine. It's been his location that has suffered.
It's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Hampton 4-2 lifetime against the Brewers with a 3.16 ERA. You got a no decision here against Milwaukee April 25th. It's 2-2 in that game. He went 6 innings, allowing 4 runs. The Astros lost that one in the 11th. Last time out, 6 innings, 1 earned run for Mike in that 4-3 win over the Giants. That one really sails high and away. It's a full count for Lopez.
Good numbers against the Giants after a somewhat miserable July. Mike with an ERA of 7.96 in the month of July.
And there's a leadoff walk. Lopez with 6 steals in 10 attempts is aboard for Mike Cameron. Ed Cedar, the first base coach, is celebrating a birthday today.
Happy birthday, Ed Cedar.
And also the Astros first base coach, Jose Cruz, has a birthday today. He's 62.
Only the 3rd time in Major League history that has happened, where first base coaches for the same team have celebrated their birthday.
Mike Cameron, the batter. And the general manager for the Brewers, Doug Melvin, celebrating his birthday today. Strike 1 to Cameron.
What's Ed Wade celebrating?
Don't know. Last night's win, perhaps. He wouldn't be celebrating that. 251 for Cameron, 15 homers, 45 runs batted in. August is not a month for celebrating. But nonetheless, it's going to be important for both of these clubs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brewers 3-4 on their road trip, which started out west. You have Roger Federer, John Hudek, and the others on that list. Who's Hieronymus?
That's a Dutch poet.
Okay.
And Ben Mars, that's Bill Thornhill, our director's grandson.
Oh, that's right.
Smokey the Bear celebrating a birthday today.
Where do we get these?
Didn't know he had a birthday.
1 ball, 1 strike to Cameron.
Dustin Hoffman celebrating a birthday today, 72. We digress.
Yes, we do. Milwaukee 4-3 against Houston this season. That one also got away from Hampton. 2-1 for Mike. In his last 5 starts, he's thrown about half the pitches in those 5 starts in the first inning of those games.
Yeah, the challenge for Dewey Robinson and Mike Hampton are to, address this problem without dwelling on it so much where it becomes an obsession and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. I know, because I tell myself in golf all the time, I can't hit that shot. And I can't. I just talk myself into it. And I think as a pitcher, you can do the same thing. Man, in the first inning, I just can't get out of the first. I struggle in the first. And the next thing you know, it's weighing so heavily on your mind, you can't shake out of it.
3-1 now to Cameron. Ryan Braun on deck. That's a strike, and it's 3-2. Talking to Cameron last night, too. He dropped the bat, headed for first, and the pitch was called a strike.
Cameron thought this ball was a little bit low. In that instance, Mike gets the call.
Cameron's a .286 hitter against Hampton with 2 home runs. He batted 5th last night, going 0 for 2 with a pair of walks. Runner going, and that's smacked into left field. First and second, nobody out as the Brewers get Lopez around on Cameron's hit, and now Braun will bat.
Well, we talked about Mike's first inning problems, and Brownie mentioned how a lot of pitchers do. And again, when you're starting the ball game, of course, the opposing manager's got his club lined up just the way he wants it. So first couple of guys reach. Now he's up against 2 of the best in the business with Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder to follow.
Braun, one of the top threats in the major leagues on a 5-game hitting streak. .320, 22 homers, 77 runs batted in, high on base average, 40 walks for Braun. He's second in the league in hits. And he takes that one for ball 1. Brewers 4th in the league in runs scored. The Astros won last night 6-3. Milwaukee has a good young lineup for the most part. Not all cylinders have been functioning properly this year for them, but nonetheless there are far worse offensive clubs than this one. Foul ball makes it 1-1, especially with Braun and Fielder there together.
Oh, it's a deep lineup, and they've got plenty of power. They hit a lot of home runs. Astros catch a break, and that Corey Hart is on the DL. He's a very good offensive player and seems to do some of his best work against the Astros.
Yeah, he had an appendectomy and might miss this entire month of August.
Corey not hitting for a big average this year, just .264, but he brings a little pop to that lineup and speed.
Braun won the Silver Slugger last year. He was an all-star, and again this year an all-star. In tight. 2 balls, 1 strike to Ryan Braun. And since he came to the big leagues, he is first in total bases among all major league players. That was in May of '07, and also first in extra base hits in that period of time. That's in the air, and the right fielder Hunter Pence moves in for it. That's one very big out for Mike Hampton. Prince Fielder comes up. Yorman Bizzardo has joined the Astros for this game.
Fastball in the outer third, and Braun trying to lift the ball. He wants to make sure he stays out of the double play. A bit of a loop in his swing, and Hampton able to pop him up.
Fielder is 0 for 2 with 2 walks so far in this series, a .300 batting average with 26 homers, 95 runs batted in, second in the league in runs batted in. Bizzardo is in the bullpen, but not available until tomorrow. Little roller back to Hampton. He'll throw to second for 1, and that's it. Tejada gets knocked down by the sliding Cameron. Lopez to third and Fielder to first on out number 2.
And a little bit of a hesitation there as Mickey tried to get the ball out of his glove, and before you know it, Cameron was on him. Boy, Mike Cameron plays the game hard. You see it time and time again. Good hard slide upending Tejada. What would have been a double play ball. Just not enough time for Miggy to get clear of Cameron. Gotta make a video of that.
Yeah. Old-fashioned base running. Now it's Casey McGee batting. He was 0 for 1 last night. .314 for McGee. 9 homers, 34 runs batted in. Leads all National League rookies in batting average right now, and he's third in runs batted in. McGee came from the Chicago Cubs organization. He was a waiver claim by Milwaukee. That's strike one to McGee. Last night it was Craig Counsell playing third base against the right-hander Bud Norris. Counsell was on 3 times. He batted second. McGee in this 5 spot in the order, given that responsibility of driving in runs, and he has an opportunity right here.
And it's a big responsibility in this lineup too, because given the option, pitchers will tiptoe around Braun and Fielder, and so oftentimes the 5-hole hitter becomes the man for the Brewers. Pretty good waiver claim right there with the numbers he's putting up.
Really. All 9 of his homers have come in his last 39 games. He went to Fresno State. Line shot into center field, and the Brewers lead 1-0 on an RBI single by McGee. He cracked an 0-2 pitch right back up over Hampton's outstretched glove. McGee driving in his 35th.
And I think they were trying to get in on him with a cutter and just left it out over the plate a little bit. Good solid 2-strike approach. You see the quiet lower body.
Bill Hall made a trip to the minor leagues. Was recalled Monday from AAA Nashville after playing 4 games there. Hall has returned as an outfielder. His strike one, 197 for Hall, 5 homers, 21 runs batted in. He has played 49 games at third base this year, but was not hitting, sent down. And then because of the injury to Corey Hart, came back to platoon in right field.
A couple of years ago, it looked like a star in the making.
He sure did.
35 home runs in 2006, hit 270 that year. He's always been a guy who strikes out a lot. And that's probably what's happened, is the pitchers have gotten wise to the fact that he doesn't have very good strike zone judgment, and they haven't thrown him many good pitches to hit, and he keeps hacking.
That one goes to left center field. Michaels and Lee, and Michaels behind Lee has it. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left for the Brewers, who lead it 1-0. Coming up in the bottom of the first with this starting AT&T lineup, and Cecil Cooper, the former Brewer slugger, makes out his card with Kazuo Matsui leading off at second base. Jeff Keppinger at third base, Hunter Pence in right field, Carlos Lee left field, Miguel Tejada shortstop, Pudge Rodriguez catcher, Jason Michaels center field, Chris Coast first base, Mike Hampton pitcher.
26-year-old left-hander Manny Parra works for the Brewers here tonight, making his 19th start. He's 6-8 with an ERA up over 6. Getting 298 against Manny Parra. Had a hard time this year, but lately he's been a little bit better. Beat the Dodgers last time out. 8 innings of 8-hit, 4-run baseball.
Kazuo Matsui takes strike one. Opening the night with a 249 average. 5 home runs. He's driven in 28. Matsui looks at that one low. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on the switch hitting second sacker. He's hitting .311 as a right-handed batter. Last night he led off and he went 0 for 4. Michael Bourne getting another night on the bench tonight. And he's been out with a sore groin. Also had a personal day yesterday. So he's getting one more day against the lefty Parra, with Jason Michaels having had the hot bat last night. Lined up the right field line. Foul. And it's 1-2. There's a play.
It's a good looking stash there.
Matsui with a foul ball needs 7 more hits to get to 2,000 hits combined between Japan and the United States.
Nice.
Good reach.
Looking in there, make sure. Yeah, it's still in there. I'm telling everybody, see how smart I am for bringing my glove?
Yeah. Little chop goes foul for Matsui. Well, we had hoped that he might get those 7 hits this weekend. Now that would be a real story if he gets 7 hits today and tomorrow to reach the number 2,000.
Yeah, that would be Ted Williams-esque.
This one in the air to left center field. Mike Cameron's calling for it and reaching up for it. One down.
Pretty good bolt delivered there by Matsui. And Cameron keeping an eye on Braun. Able to track it down.
The guys in the bullpen like that view.
Cameron saying, tell Braun he stay over there and left, would you? Let me play my position.
Now Jeff Keppinger. There's strike one to Jeff. 268, 3 homers, 19 runs batted in. Jeff Blum manned third base last night. Keppinger getting a shot against the lefty Parra. That one goes foul and it's no balls, 2 strikes to Keppinger. Keppinger's hit .338 against lefties this year. Jeff's been a .300 hitter for his last 20 games, 18 hits and 60 at bats. That one's rolled foul.
Parra, fastball, changeup, curveball, split finger pitch. And his problems have been just fastball command for the most part. Too many walks, too many mistakes over the middle of the plate when he struggled, especially early in the season.
He gets a strikeout looking. And he's 26 years old.
I'm not sure what that was. I think it might have been a changeup.
Yeah. Sure had some late action on it. Throws both a change and a split finger pitch. 100 Pence, 290, 14 homers, 45 runs batted in. Parra pitched a perfect game at Round Rock in 07. He was pitching for Nashville, and his battery mate tonight, Mike Rivera, caught that game. Parra was certainly large in the plans of the Brewers as they approach this season after he went 10-8 last year with a 4.39 ERA, as JD mentioned. Sabathia and Sheets were the 1-2 punch last year, and Ken Maka didn't have either one of them in his rotation. So it's Gallardo and Parra, but Parra out of the gate really stumbled, so now has regrouped after that time in the minor leagues.
And Braden Looper also joined this rotation, has pitched pretty well. Jeff Suppan is hurt right now. But in terms of, expectations based on age and stuff, I think Parra was the guy, along with Gallardo, that I could move kind of to the head of the class and really become one of the leaders of the rotation.
Parra's from Sacramento. Bounces that one. It's 3-2.
Still a pretty young pitcher. Made 2 starts in 07. And then a full season last year. It's really his second full season in the big leagues.
And that's a walk to Hunter Pence. His 42nd of the year. Carlos Lee will face Parra next. Parra lost to Russ Ortiz here on the 26th of April, 3-2, giving up 3 runs in 5 innings. Lee had an RBI single in that game. 314 for Carlos, 18 homers. He's driven in 65. And he is 7 for 12 against Manny Parra in his career. Last night he went 2 for 4, a double and a single his last 2 times up.
Sitting on 299.
There's ball 1. Yes, he is.
There's a new Panamanian home run hitter of all time, and his name is, well, he already is that.
Yeah.
We need one more for 300.
Yeah.
Let's do it at home.
Hit one for the Canal. 2 balls and no strikes to Carlos Lee. He is 8 for 16 on this homestand. Carlos in his last 12 games has hit .388, 3 homers, 6 runs batted in. Those are the gaudy numbers against Parra for him. And the fastball goes away. It's 3 balls, no strikes. Bill Schroeder does the television analyst work for the Brewers, and he said Parra is much more aggressive now with his fastball since going to the minor leagues.
Green light him. Taken all the way.
3-1. There's Bill Schroeder, former catcher for the Brewers. He is just surveying the field tonight. Looks like the general up here. 3-2.
He does. He's working that gum. Got the hands on the hips. All right, you people.
He's really into this game. He doesn't know we're watching him.
Yeah, he's a good guy, Billy. Wonderful guy. Brian Anderson, his sidekick there. They do a good job.
Yes, they do. 3-2, 2 outs. Hunter Pence takes off. Smacked on a line to left field. In for a hit. Pence is going to third. Throw goes into Hardy. Single for Lee. First and third now for Tejada.
Well, the Brewers posted that Singleton in the top half of the inning. The Astros now with an opportunity to tie it up, maybe more. Up in the wheelhouse of Carlos, and he hits a bullet. Braun, good play there. No chance at Pence at third, just quickly getting the ball back into J.J. Hardy, allowing him to make a play if one should develop. Somebody takes a big turn at third or first.
Miguel Tejada with 142 hits is the National League leader. 323, 10 homers, 64 runs batted in. He also leads in doubles with 33. Pudge Rodriguez is on deck. Cameron is stationed in right center field. Up the middle, and it rolls to the second sacker. And there's the toss from Lopez to Hardy. No runs, a hit. 2 men left. 1-0 Brewers.
And I am here joined by General Manager for Fox Sports Houston, Steve Tello. And Steve presented the keys to a lovely family today. Of course, Fox Sports Houston, the Houston Astros, and 12 other organizations teamed up with Habitat for Humanity. It's been a season-long project, and it all came to a culmination pregame. Steve, tell us about it today.
Well, it was just an exciting day because this project's been going on for several months. And 12 organizations teamed up with Habitat for Humanity to build the home for the Roberts family. We went to the house today and had a ribbon cutting. And then, of course, tonight they were here at the park before the game. Hunter Pence came out, who worked on the house, and we handed them the keys. So it's a very exciting day.
Well, and of course, this is something that, a lot of time has been put into by all these organizations. We were all out there. Hunter, as you said, was actually out there sawing, hammering. Brownie and Jim were out there. And it's just something that really the Astros and Fox Sports Houston took a lot of pride in and did more than just this one family.
It was a great partnership between the two organizations, and we really enjoyed the day. And today, seeing them walk into the house was just amazing. This is a family that has not had their own home, and to have them have this roof over their head and be a part of it with the Astros was just an amazing day. I would say that JD is not real good with a hammer, I will tell you that.
Yeah, well, and I'm also impressed that you've actually still got the ribbon in your pocket, don't you?
I brought the ribbon with me to show Hunter and just to let him know because he wasn't there this morning.
Yes, and Hunter was very involved, and it was fun to see him go through these houses in that neighborhood and really take some pride of ownership in the work itself as well.
The project is amazing. The Habitat for Humanity is going to build about 150 homes in this area, and they are relentless, and they work hard to find partnerships. Very generous organizations giving money and time. It takes about 35 people per day that come in to help build the home. To go there and see the door open correctly, we were all kind of surprised. We thought it might have some flaws, but it was a home well built.
Well, and obviously that was a door that JD did not work on, but we do appreciate all that you've done and the partnership that you've helped solidify with the Houston Astros to do this, so thanks so much for sharing the story.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Wow, they're getting after my hammering. My brother-in-law, I think they nicknamed me Sir Taps a Lot.
Oh,
yeah. They were building the deck a few years ago.
Good. After the infield hit by Hardy, a visit to the mound by Pudge Rodriguez, the count 1-0 on Mike Rivera in this 1-0 game. 2-0-3 for Rivera. And Hampton makes the adjustment, throws a strike to get to a 1-1 count. Manny Parra, the pitcher, on deck. Hampton giving up 1 run in the first inning on a walk and 2 singles. Now once again there's a conference.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's an injury issue with Pudge motioning for Nate Lucero to come out.
Well, the fact that Yorman Bazardo is here does bolster the Astros bullpen, but he's not available tonight. He pitched on the 5th 3 days ago. So normally, since he now becomes the long man in the bullpen, he would be the guy who would be coming in to this spot, and they might just test him anyway for an appearance of 2 or 3 batters. We'll have to wait and see what the plan becomes with Hampton hurting here in the 2nd inning.
I couldn't tell what he was favoring. Looks like he's good enough. When you've been through all the injuries Mike's been through, we probably get to a point where you go, look, I just want to pitch. As long as you tell me I'm not going to blow out my arm, I'm going to give it a go.
Well, he's staying in for now. With a 1-1 count on Rivera and a runner at first. It's been a rough stretch for the Astros pitching staff with injuries to both Roy Oswalt and Wandy Rodriguez. Monday to pitch tomorrow here. And Roy's scheduled to go Tuesday night in Florida. Ryan Moller's down for the Monday night start, opening the road trip in Florida. That'll be a 4-game series there, and then 3 in Milwaukee next weekend. Hampton gets a swing and miss from Rivera. Now has a 1-2 count.
Swing and miss is good. He'd probably prefer a swing and a 2-hopper to short. And double play off the bat of Rivera here, and then have the opposing pitcher step in there with 2 outs and nobody on.
This is Mike's 20th start of the season. He has not made that many starts since '04. Into left field. Rivera with a hit. Hardy to second base, and pitcher Manny Parra comes up next.
Tomorrow, 105 game. Astros and the Brewers go at it again. First 10,000 kids 15 years of age and under will receive an Astros back to school backpack courtesy of Kraft and HEB. After the game, kids run the bases. For information or to get your tickets, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Now it's Parra expected to bunt here by the Astros infielders, and he pops it up. Foul. And strike 1 for Parra, who has 2 sacrifice bunts. Looking out at the Astros bullpen, nobody warming up at the moment.
Yeah, this early in the game, defensively, the priority is just to make sure you get an out. If he puts down a bad bunt and you got a chance to nail the lead runner, by all means. But the priority is to make sure you get an out. You don't want to gamble and set up a bigger inning this early in the ball game. The advantage the Astros have typically is that Mike Hampton's such a good athlete, but we're not sure what's bothering him out there.
Bunted to third. Keppinger to Matsui. And the sacrifice for Parra is his 3rd of the year. Hardy to third, Rivera to second, 1 out. Hampton was on the disabled list in June with a groin injury. Missed 2 weeks with that injury.
Fox Sports Houston has a Twitter page. Expand your sporting network at twitter.com/FSHouston. Yeah, you don't know if that groin is, lingering as they tend to do.
Felipe Lopez walked and scored in the first. Looking at ball 1. Lopez has moved right in as the leadoff man. Ricky Weeks out for the season after surgery. Lopez taking over at second base. Fly ball to right field. Hunter Pence with the runner tagging at third. There's the catch, and Hardy is stopping as the throw comes in perfectly on line to the plate. Hunter Pence with 9 outfield assists makes another good throw.
A good decision down there by Hardy and third base coach Brad Fisher. Hunter settling under that one in perfect position to make a throw. And if you've got an outfielder that has to drift to his left or right on a ball like that, you're going to send the runner because it takes him a little bit to square up, and he's more apt to make an errant throw, but perfectly stationed behind that ball, relatively shallow. Wise decision to stay put.
Mike Cameron single to left on a 3-2 count. Ball 1 to Cameron. San Francisco beat Cincinnati this afternoon 4-2 at AT&T Park. Reds won late last night 10-5 with 5 in the 9th. 2-0. Barry Zito was the winner today. His 8th win against 10 losses. Cameron 11 for 36 lifetime against Hampton. And Brian Wilson got his 28th save today for the Giants, who got homers from Velez and Molina.
Eugenio
Yeah.
stays hot. Or Gino Velez.
Gino. 3 balls, no strikes. Ryan Braun's on deck. Brewers were in San Diego, then they were in Los Angeles. 3-4 on this road trip. Now 3-1 on Cameron. Tomorrow will be their final game here this season. 9 games total between the two will be played here. All 9 of them before the Astros and Brewers play a single game at Miller Park. That's a walk to load the bases.
Well, Mike Cameron, we showed you in the first inning taking Miggy out on a potential double play ball, but talk about how hard he plays. You'll remember this one. He rammed into Q at home plate. And here's the would-be double play ball. Good hard takeout slide at second base. Do one of those player surveys and ask who's the hardest player in the National League. I think Mike Cameron's name would show up on that list.
Bases loaded for Ryan Braun, who flied to right in the first. Braun takes that pitch, and it's ball 1. On with another outstanding season underway. Always a threat. Rookie of the year in 07. Has a younger brother, Steve, who's a Brewer farm hand.
There's another Steve Braun that played a number of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Right for the Cardinals?
Yes, that's right. 2 balls, no strikes.
No relation, no, as far as we know.
As far as we know, no relation.
Well, he was 3-1 on Cameron, now 2-0 on Braun, so Hampy really flirting with disaster here. Got out of the first, allowing just the 1 run. But big pitch coming here.
And he gets the call on the outside edge. 2-1. St. Louis and Pittsburgh are scoreless through 2 tonight. They're playing at PNC Park. The Angels beat the Rangers today 3-2. Jeff Weaver over Eddie Guardado. Brian Fuentes with a save. 3-1 now. Hampton really up against it with Fielder on deck.
Well, walking in a run is not the worst thing that can happen here. You got a dangerous hitter like Braun with the bases loaded. You still got to make a pitcher's pitch. Whether he wants to try to throw the cutter in down towards that back foot, or a sinker, 2-seamer, or change up down and away, he cannot give in to the fat part of the plate here. Good pitch.
And he got it there. 3-2.
Sam Holbrook, the home plate umpire tonight, has shown that he will call this low pitch a strike. And so if Mike can stay there, if he can find his release point and pound away down there consistently, he should be set up to have a good night.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. A 3-2 pitch coming to Braun. It's smacked into left field. That'll score Hardy and Rivera. And Cameron goes to third on a 2-run single by Braun, giving him 79 runs batted in. 3-0 Brewers.
Yeah, against some of these talented hitters, against any big league hitter, if you continue to work from behind, sooner or later, you're going to pay a price for it. Not always. Sometimes you go out there and you just, after the game, you kind of, how do I get away with that? But generally, when you work from behind against the middle of a good order, they're going to get you.
Prince Fielder bats next. Takes ball 1. Fielder bounced into that force play at second in the first inning.
And Dewey Robinson heading to the phone. Mike Hampton, when he finished that delivery, landed somewhat awkwardly. So, again, I'm not sure what's bothering him. I don't know if it's hammy, groin, something with the lower body, I guess. I don't think it's arm related.
There is some stirring in the bullpen.
Combination of getting hit around a little bit and battling something physically. It could be a short night for Mike.
Yorman Bizzardo is starting to get loose. High by fielder and headed for right field. Hunter Pence moving in. In the second, the Brewers added their lead with 2 runs coming in on 3 hits. And strand 2, it's 3-0 Milwaukee. It's 3-0 Milwaukee. Bottom of the second coming right after our Geico quote. Former catcher Bob Uecker once said the way to catch a knuckleball is to wait until it stops rolling and then pick it up. And he's now broadcasting this game for the Brewers. Pudge Rodriguez leads it off. Bottom of the second inning. Manny Parra delivers strike 1 to Pudge. A .245 hitter with 8 homers, 33 runs batted in. Pudge was 0 for 4 last night, hit in some tough luck. Now he finds a hole for that line drive. He lined out a couple times last night. He's going to turn and head for second base. Mike Cameron picks it up. On the bullpen area, a double for Pudge. Number 15 of this season for the active leader in doubles. Number 539 of his career.
Cameron playing Pudge towards right center field. Pudge hits the ball the other way. Effectively, he has his entire career. So the Brewers were shading him that way. That gave him a little more room in left center, and he got the head out in front of this high fastball from Manny Parra. Although he didn't really crush that ball because Cameron had such a long way to go. He was able to get it all the way to the wall for an easy double.
Jason Michaels had a big night last night. 2 homers, 4 runs batted in. Tying his career high. He hit 2 homers in a game in 2004. Up to 211 now with 3 homers and 13 runs batted in. And Jason had a 2-run double on Wednesday against San Francisco, starting that game in center field. 3rd straight start in center field for Jason. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to J. Mike. Make it 2-0. Michaels has hit .320 in his last 17 games. Rolls this one slowly. Prince Fielder will tag him and get the out there, with Pudge Rodriguez taking 3rd. 1 out. Almost
that was kind of fun. Yeah, it looked like a routine play, and Prince decided to take it himself. I think if I'm Jason, I think if Prince Fielder's chasing me, I find an extra step. I get a little bit quicker when I have this man chasing me. He didn't want to flip it to Parra. The race was on, and if Jason gets down, maybe he's safe.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets stepped on.
Chris Coast has a runner at third and one out. Infield laying back with a 3-0 Brewer lead. And Coast takes a look at strike one. Matt Cata's in the on deck circle. Pitcher spot due up next. And Mike Hampton's going to be taken out of this game. Bizzardo warming up in the bullpen. It's a 1-1 count to Coast, the former Philly, with a .233 average, 2 homers, 14 runs batted in. Been playing a lot of first base in the absence of Lance Berkman.
Brewers stay back. They concede the run. You have to plate this run. That'll do it.
Yes, it will. Slow grounder to second. Lopez with the throw. Rodriguez scoring, and it's 3-1. Coast getting his 15th run batted in. That's textbook. Trying to hit the ball up the middle in that situation. Astros are on the board as Coast gets the run home.
But the only thing that doesn't, well, two things: a ground ball right back to the mound, or a sharply hit ground ball to third base. So you just stay through the ball, look middle away, don't roll over. A couple of little squibbers there, but good enough to get the Astros a run.
Yeah. Now Matt Cata pinch hits for Hampton. Hampton in 2 innings, allowing 5 hits, 3 runs, walking 2. He did not have a strikeout, and that foul ball goes out of play for strike 1. Cata has had only 6 at bats right-handed. He is 1 for 6. Overall, as a pinch hitter, Matt has 7 hits and 25 at bats with 4 runs batted in.
That's good.
Yeah. Looks at a strike there as Parra brings the breaking ball in, and it's 0-2.
What's 7 for 25? About that's better than 250. 275, something like that in the pinch.
Right. Yeah. Late swing there and a strikeout as Parra gets number 2 to end the 2nd inning with 1 run scoring and 1 hit. It's 3-1 Brewers after 2. And wireless call to the bullpen, bringing in Yorman Bizzardo. He has been in the major leagues with Florida and Detroit. 1 game with Florida in 05, 11 with Detroit in 07, 3 with Detroit last year. He was in spring training with the Phillies this year and was released. And the Astros picked him up, signed him to a minor league deal on the 9th of April. He is 9-6 this year and was one of the top pitchers along with Bud Norris at AAA Round Rock.
Bizzardo making his debut in an Astros uniform here tonight. He's in pretty good shape. Team trails by a couple of runs, but still a tight ball game. He can string 3 or 4 zeros up there. He's got a chance to give himself a W.
There's ball one to Casey McGee. McGee on an 0-2 pitch, finding an RBI single right back over the mound into center field. Bizzardo went 5 innings against Tacoma in his last start. Line drive to left field, and McGee makes it a 2-for-2 start to the night. He heads for second base, and the throw not relayed by Tejada. A double for McGee. 12th double for Casey McGee this year.
Trying to go down and away with a fastball, and it's a two-seamer. Runs back over the middle. It's a tough pitch to execute a two-seam fastball from a right-handed pitcher to a right-handed hitter down and away. You really have to drive it to that outside part of the plate.
Bill Hall hit a fly ball to center. Bizzardo went 5 innings on Wednesday for Round Rock against Tacoma. Lost that game. Gave up 5 runs on 5 hits in 5 innings, walking 3 and fanning 4. He threw 80 pitches. Hall takes ball 1. Pudge Rodriguez caught Yorman Bizzardo in Detroit. He'll throw the changeup in just about any count.
There it is there.
Bizzardo's from Maracay, Venezuela. Signed as a free agent by Florida in 2000. He was in spring training as a non-roster player with the Astros. He wasn't in spring training. They picked him up after spring training.
The waiver claim, right?
Yeah. But he had to be purchased, his contract purchased, to get him on the 40-man roster. Felipe Paulino was optioned to Round Rock after the game last night to make room for Bizzardo on the club.
And you know, that contract purchase thing, that's just, I was asking Ed Wade about that. So what's the deal with this, that language? He says that's all it is. It's language that harkens back to an earlier time in baseball when big league teams actually purchase the contract of a minor league player. There's no transaction that takes place, no money. You know, it's not like they pay the Round Rock club for his contract.
And that's a walk. So first and second occupied. Nobody out for J.J. Hardy. Hardy reached on an infield hit in the second inning. Coming up later in our Dodge Grab Live feature, Darren Erstad tells us what he likes to read. Stay tuned for that.
Bizzardo doesn't look really comfortable out there. I don't know if he's not loose, you know, having started on Wednesday. He just doesn't feel real fresh right now. And obviously probably some anxiety too. Although he's been in the big leagues before, he's played a lot of winter ball, he's been around a lot of big league players and pressure situations. Interesting story. He signed with the Marlins for $87,000, turning down a $370,000 offer from the Cubs because Miguel Cabrera from his hometown was with the Marlins and some other players that he was familiar with, and went for the familiarity and turned down some serious dough.
Boy, he did. Hardy reached on an infield hit. He looks at ball 1. Bizzardo, after signing with Florida, and was traded to Seattle for Ron Ballone in July of 05. Detroit got him in another trade in early 07. The Phillies had signed him as a free agent. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Well, as Cecil Cooper was talking about his plans for Bizzardo with the media, somebody asked how he would be used. He said he'll be in long relief for now, and would not be available, he said, for this game. But of course, circumstances do change things, and they have changed with the injury to Hampton.
Well, that manager never wants to contemplate having to use his long reliever.
Yeah.
We don't want to have to use our long reliever ever. Good sink there. That's a potential double play ball for him.
And somebody asked him about the fact that Bizzardo's been starting and how he would be warming up. He said, well, we'll try to give him plenty of notice since he has been starting. That doesn't always work out. Best laid plans. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yankees beat Boston 5-0. CC Sabathia didn't allow a runner past second base today. So it's a second straight shutout win for the Yankees.
Well, how about the pitching in that series?
Oh,
wow.
Terrific. Ground ball wide of third, and it's still a 1-2 count. The Yankees now have a 5.5 game lead. Derek Jeter hit a 2-run homer in the 8th.
Coming into that series, the Yankees hadn't beat Boston all year. 0-9 or something like that against them.
Yeah, they're 0-8. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bizzardo would love a double play here. Rivera on deck. Did he swing? They appeal it first. Check to swing. Larry Vanover with a call. It's 2-2. Bizzardo making his 16th major league appearance. He's 2-1 with a 5.72 ERA. Has made 2 starts and 13 relief appearances in the big leagues before tonight. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bud Norris was leading the PCL in ERA. Bizzardo second. Bizzardo pitched in relief this year for Round Rock. 3 times he pitched. He was 2-0 with a 2.08 ERA in those 3 games. Now full count. First major league appearance for Bizzardo since April 10th of 2008 at Boston. Now the bases are loaded with nobody out for Mike Rivera. Patty Smith.
All right, Astros fans, come out to Minute Maid Park on Friday, August 21st at 7:05 as the Astros take on the Diamondbacks. Arrive early as the first 10,000 fans will receive an Astros Gold Star cap collectible courtesy of AT&T. This cap collectible is the 3rd piece in a 4-piece set, and be sure to stick around after the game for Friday night fireworks presented by Marathon Oil Corporation, weather of course permitting. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS, guys.
Thank you, Patty. Here's Mike Rivera. Bases loaded, nobody out now. He looks at ball 1. Rivera singled to left and scored in the 2nd inning. Pitcher Manny Parra on deck. Bizzardo can get double play ball here and then get the pitcher out. He's posted a 0 in the 3rd with bases loaded, nobody out.
Sounds like a plan.
Popped up. It's out of play, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
You talk about traffic, my goodness. 3rd inning, Brewers have had 6 hits already, 3 walks, 4 walks.
One of the hits for extra bases. McGee's double leading off this inning. Ground ball, that's fair. That'll score. McGee and Hall behind him to make it 5-1. And now the ball gets hung up in the left field corner. Here's Tejada throwing to the plate, and it hits the base runner Hardy, and he scores as well. Rivera on at second base, and it's 6-1. Will have to be an error on Tejada with the throw hitting the base runner. Now we'll wait and see on that.
Now right down the left field line it goes. The Astros flirting with disaster here in the early innings, and the Brewers finally get the big hit with the bases loaded, the double, scoring 3. Miggy just didn't have an angle to make that throw. It's already right in the middle of the back.
Now Manny Parra, there's no error on the play because the base runner Rivera didn't advance because the runner was hit by the ball. There's ball one to Parra. So a 3-run double for Rivera. His 5th double of the year, giving him 6 runs batted in. Now bunted. Bizzardo looks at third, nobody there. He throws it away, and now it's 7-1. Stop sign for Parra at second base.
That's tough for the kid. Obviously very anxious out there, struggling, having a tough time throwing the ball where he wants to. Then the miscue here defensively. There's no play, no option at third, and he spins around. That puts him in kind of an awkward position to try to make that throw to first base. So instead of stepping and throwing, he throws it back on his heels, flat-footed, and it just sails on him.
Bizzardo draws an error. Run number 7 scores on that error. Now it's Felipe Lopez batting.
Mulligan, do over.
Lopez takes ball 1. He's walked and flied to right.
We mentioned that the Brewers pitching hasn't been very good this year. And there's a lot of baseball yet to be played.
Yeah. Strike makes it 1 ball 1 strike. Nightmarish inning for Bizzardo. Debut with the Astros really coming unraveled. A double, 2 walks, 3-run double. His own error. It's 2-1. The Astros have been blown out in some games recently. Pitchers injured early in games. Lopsided scores.
And sometimes you get into a game like this and you want to save your resources, i.e. your bullpen, for tomorrow's game. So you'll ask a pitcher to hang in there and take one for the team, even though he's getting hammered. But you hate to do it to a young guy like Bizzardo.
And Lopez draws a walk. 3rd walk of the inning for Bizzardo. Crowd getting restless. And it'll be Cameron batting.
Jeff Fulcino pitched an inning and a third last night. He's done a real nice job this year in long relief. But tonight it looks like one of those nights where you're just going to have to patch it together, use a lot of different guys.
Yeah.
You've got Wandy Rodriguez scheduled to pitch tomorrow, and normally you think, well, that's fine. We got Wandy. We can count on him to go deep into the game, but you're not sure how he's going to hold up physically because of the hamstring.
This might be one of those rare occasions when a position player pitches later on. Mike Cameron, the batter. He has a single and a walk. The Astros had back-to-back defeats in Chicago on the 29th and 30th of July, 12-0 and 12-3. Strike one. Roy Oswalt left with an injury in the game before those consecutive defeats. They won that game 11-6. One ball, one strike. And they were pounded by the Giants Tuesday night 8-1. Paulino giving up 5 runs in 4 1/3. Soft foul ball over the screen comes back here. And fans are ecstatic below us. Wednesday the Giants dropped 10 runs on the Astros, winning 10-6 here. Bizzardo just trying to find some kind of formula for getting out of trouble here in the 3rd inning. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Cameron's caught looking. There's one out. Ryan Braun will follow.
These fans are cynics, aren't they?
Yeah. Braun ripped a 2-run single in the second inning. He's 1 for 2. Well, the Cubs ran into some difficulty last night with Carlos Zambrano unable to start their game at Coors Field, and Sean Marshall had to take that start.
Yeah, Big Z went on the DL again. Got the back issue.
Cubs in Colorado just underway with Jason Marquis pitching against his former club. No score. That game just starting in Colorado. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sabathia went to 12-7 with that Yankee win over Boston today, beating Clay Buchholz, who's 1-2. CC emerging now as the type pitcher the Yankees had hoped they signed after that big stretch drive with Milwaukee last season. 1-2 to Ryan Braun. In the 10th inning, Toronto found the formula for beating Baltimore 3-2. Jason Frazier won that one over Dennis Baez. Alex Rios hitting his 14th homer for the Blue Jays. Fielders on deck here. Braun is the 8th Brewer to bat in the 3rd inning. There's only 1 out. Good action there, and Braun strikes out. Well, maybe there just wasn't enough time for Bizzardo to get loose. A short warm up. And now he faces Fielder. Fielder's 0 for 2. Pitcher Parr is the base runner at second. Lopez on at first. That's ball 1. Bizzardo freezing on that one. Sam Holbrook. You think it was a strike? Cleveland 2, the White Sox 1. They've played 3 in Chicago.
Jake Peavy set to start a rehab assignment for the White Sox later on this week.
It's 2-0 to Fielder. George Rodriguez out for a word. Peavy could really give that White Sox club a nice lift. They're 3 behind Detroit. Tigers have won 3 in a row now. They're trailing at home against Minnesota 3-0 in the middle of the 5th now. Fielder smacks one into right center field. Parra around third. He'll come home to make it 8-1. RBI single for Fielder. His 96th run batted in.
Yeah, I had a feeling he was going to hit it hard there too. 2-0 fastball. It's the mighty rip he takes. The pitch was down. Maybe we get a lot of lift on it. Not for lack of trying though. A step or 2 deeper in the infield when that man's hitting.
Yeah. Now it's Lopez at third, and McGee bats for the 2nd time in the inning. He led off with a double. There's strike 1. McGee 2 for 2 tonight.
It seems to me that we have an inordinate number of these games like this on Saturday nights, and we start early.
Yes, it does.
The early start becomes nullified.
We wind up finishing at about the same time as a normal 7:05 start. 1-2 the count. Washington 4, Arizona 2. They played 4 in Washington. Mark Reynolds hit his 35th for the D-backs. Josh Willingham, number 18.
Oh my goodness, Josh Willingham is hot. Wow. Nationals looking to win 7 in a row. That's Dan Herron they're beating tonight.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Jim Riggleman has found the success there, and it took a while. Very elusive.
It's not a bad lineup that they have.
No, it's not at all. Line AT HOU with a catch. 5-run score on only 2 hits, with 1 error and 2 men left. It's 8-1 Brewers in the 3rd. Is brought to you by Geico and by the Ford F-150. Milwaukee Brewers have come to Minute Maid Park, where they had such a difficult time winning, and they've taken 6 of their last 9 games going back to last year. Now they lead big 8-1 in the middle of the 3rd inning of this one. Manny Parra stake to this 7-run advantage now, after the Brewers got 1 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, and 5 in the 3rd. Now the Astros come up with Matsui, Keppinger, and Pence due to bat in the home 3rd inning against Parra. Matsui hit a fly ball to center in the 1st. He looks at strike 1. Wesley Wright is warming up for the Astros. That one's out of play. It's 0-2. Hampton threw 48 pitches in his 2 innings. Bizzardo threw 41 pitches in the 3rd inning. Brewers have sent 23 batters to the plate, to 9 for the Astros, and number 10 looks at strike 3. 3rd strikeout.
Killing us in time of possession. Well, you got a lot of baseball. You got a whole bunch of outs yet to play with. I'm sure Sean Barry's down there in that dugout, and Cecil Cooper saying, hey, just give me good at-bats, guys. You never know. It's kind of the mindset you have to take in a game like this. You feel like you're defeated, but you never know.
Jeff Keppinger took a 3rd strike. He lines 1 to left. Jumping all over that pitch. That's hit number 3 for the Astros. Keppinger is aboard for Hunter Pence.
Remember that Manny Parra came into this game with a 633 earned run average. The Brewer bullpen has not been exactly spectacular this year. And throughout the course of a season, you see a number of crazy comebacks in Major League Baseball. That Oakland Twins game a week or 2 ago was a great example.
Hunter Pence walked earlier. What was that, a 10 run?
I think it was a 10-run deficit. Yeah, Aiken overcame.
Strike to Hunter. Carlos Lee is on deck. It's 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Lance Berkman itching to get back in the lineup, but the Astros are playing it conservatively. He has not been able to run yet and probably will return during the Florida series, which opens Monday night.
The calf injury seems to have just hit a plateau, and is not getting any better from one day to the next.
It's 2-2. Cardinals with a one-game lead over the Cubs as play began today. Cardinals and Pittsburgh are scoreless after 4. Cubs did not score in the first at Colorado. To the left side, Hardy backhands, throws to second, gets a force play. Excellent play to get Keppinger. Pence reaching for Carlos Lee. Our Texas Ford dealers, league leaders tonight, will show you the top Astros hitters with runners in scoring position since mid-May. Michael Bourne at 380. Then it's Tejada, Berkman, and Pence. Team batting average of .290. Leads the National League. Runners in scoring position since May 13th. Tejada's on deck. Lee the batter. Lee cracked a single to left center in the first inning. Taking ball 1. It's a 1-1 strike count. Parra, since he was called up from the minors, 3-0 with a 3.94 ERA in 5 starts. He was optioned to Nashville in mid-June. He had 4 starts with the Nashville Sounds. That's a shot knocked down by McGee. And he throws to Fielder to get Lee. No runs ahead, a man stranded. After 3, it's 8-1 Brewers.
Top of the fourth, the Brewers have 8, the Astros only have 1. This date in Astros history is brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center. On this date in 1986, Jose Cheo Cruz celebrates birthday number 39. Well, he's only about 42 now. Driving in career run number 1,000 in a 5-0 blanking over the San Diego Padres. Happy birthday, Cheo.
A youthful 62.
And happy birthday, Jessica Funky. And Jessica Sienkiewicz. And Deborah Norville. Deborah Norville, over, under 51.
Under.
51. I said the number. I meant to say 50.
Jesus. You're kidding.
It's 51.
Wow. Wesley Wright throws, and it's strike one to Bill Hall. Yorman Bizzardo in 1 inning, allowing 3 hits and 5 runs, 3 of them earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Wright is 2-1 with a 6.11 ERA.
From Bizzardo's point of view, there's nowhere to go but up. Got that first ugly one out of the way.
And he's had that feeling before. He pitched 1 game in his major league debut for Florida in 05. And an ERA of 21.60 after that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It is a humbling experience sometimes to play in a major league game.
He's been starting all year. He gets called on to come out of the pen here in his first appearance with a new team. Against a team who's already kind of feeling pretty good about themselves, having a lot of good at-bats. And he's a movement and control type guy. He's not an overpowering type pitcher, so a little bit out of sync with your delivery, you're going to get hit hard and walk people, and that's exactly what happened. You find the strike zone.
Pudge took a shot off his right knee. Two for Wesley Wright on Bill Hall. Hall bounces one. Matsui moving to his right. Puts it to coast. 1 out. It's time for Aflac trivia.
Aflac!
Let's see what we can come up with tonight. Name the 7 players who played more than 1 season with both the Brewers and Astros. 7 players.
Happy, bashful, sleepy.
Bill Spires is 1. Mark Loretta.
What do we do now? We played. These guys played
with
more
both.
than 1 season with both clubs.
Yeah.
Oh. Carlos Lee.
Okay.
I'm not going to guess anymore. I'm going to let the people work on it at home.
That's a tactic we frequently use when we have no idea. 1 ball and no strike. 2-0 now for Wesley Wright. Franklin Stubbs played for both teams in 1 year, right? So he doesn't qualify for that. 3 balls, no strikes. Frank DiPino.
Frank DiPino played for both, but apparently not enough time with the Brewers.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Frank DiPino and Kevin Bass and Mike Madden, I believe, were traded to the Brewers, or from the Brewers to the Astros for Don Sutton. I think that was the deal.
Yeah, you're right. In fact, Mike Madden was the last Astro before Bud Norris last night to win his first 2 starts with Houston. That's Houston rookie. That was in '83. Roger Clemens won his first 7. There's a walk to Hardy. And now it's Rivera. Rivera is 2 for 2 with 3 runs batted in. It's time now for What Do You Know? Brought to you by Radio Shack. Last night, Bud Norris was the first Astros rookie to win his first 2 career starts since Mike Madden in 1983. Madden was a lefty
And I believe Mike Madden also gave up Johnny Bench's final home run.
Okay. Ball 1 to Rivera.
And Beal throwing a lot of minutia at you tonight, folks,
Yes.
unless this game turns around. See if we can dig up some Happy Days trivia since we're playing the Brewers.
Well, the cast of Happy Days was in Milwaukee last year when we happened to be in town.
Yeah, that's right. Penny Marshall came through the lobby.
Yeah.
Sitting there in the lobby of the Pfister.
And Henry Winkler was there. Very gracious.
We used to always see, or I did anyway, I used to see Ernest Borgnine in Milwaukee a lot.
Really?
Yeah, he must be big in Milwaukee.
Didn't know that. Nobody's as big there as Bob Uecker.
And this is the 20th anniversary of the movie Major League. You starred in, or whatever you want, however you want to define his role as broadcaster Harry Doyle.
That was quite a roll. 3 balls and a strike. Well, now the scoreboard crew here at Minute Maid Park has been researching Bob Uecker's career home run total. And they were trying to find an Astro who had a similar career home run total. And if that player hit a home run during this series, they could show pictures of both, that they shared that same total of home runs in the major leagues. I think it was 17, something like that. Fly ball, and I believe the man who's closest to Uke is Matt Keita.
How do you spell Uecker?
U-E-C-K-E-R.
That would have been a good trivia question right there. And we'll just have a spelling bee tonight.
Yeah, we could do that.
Let me see. Bob Uecker hit 14 major league home runs.
Okay, 14. Matt Keita has 12, so he's the closest Astro to that total. So he hits 2 homers this weekend, and you can see both of them up on the scoreboard. Rivera strikes out. That's out number 2 for Wesley Wright.
Trying to restore a little order to this game, Wesley Wright. That's a good strikeout here. Rivera flips that inside corner with a heater, spoiling his perfect night.
Last time Wesley pitched, he worked 3 innings here Tuesday night in the 8-1 loss to the Giants. Manny Parra looks at ball 1. Parra, one of the products of the fertile Milwaukee farm system, because they traded some of those products last year in the Sabathia deal. But it worked out for them. They did so with trepidation, saying at the time that they were not going to make this an annual occurrence. They felt they had the team to go for it and wanted to get Sabathia in their uniform. Finish out strong, which they did.
It's like the Astros when they made the deal for Randy Johnson back in '98, and Sabathia delivered, as did the unit.
Bunted foul. 1-2 for
I got another one. Sean Berry.
Sean Berry.
The Astros and the Brewers.
Yeah.
So we feel good about Spires, Loretta, Lee, and Berry. Okay, and we're looking for 7, so that's 4. We feel pretty darn good about.
What was the question again? They had to play multiple years for both teams.
Correct.
So Pat Listache doesn't
My
count.
phone's ringing. Maybe somebody's got the answer.
Let's hope.
So, hello, you're on Astros television.
Oh boy. Keith Ginter. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mets are in San Diego later tonight. Atlanta is at Los Angeles late tonight. And Parra swings and misses, striking out. The Astros post their first 0 of the game here in the 4th inning with a score: Brewers 8, Astros 1.
7 players to spend more than a year with both the Astros and the Brewers, and here's the list. Barry, we got that one right. Carlos, yes. Doug Henry, we might have gotten that one. James Mouton, Matt Mieske, Billy Spires, Mark Loretta, all spending more than one full season with both the Brewers and the Astros. And Doug Henry is also the answer to another trivia question.
Oh?
When was the last time the Astros traded a veteran for a prospect at the trade deadline? It was the Doug Henry for Scott Linebrink deal.
That was a good deal.
Yeah. The Astros, for the most part, over the years, at the deadline, if they're dealing, they're trading prospects for veterans because they've been in the hunt.
What year was that, you recall?
I'm guessing that was 2000.
Miguel Tejada leads off the last of the 4th inning. 8-1, Manny Parra and the Brewers leading it. And here's ball 1. Miggy bounced into a force play in the 1st inning. Rodriguez and Michaels to follow. Smacked to shortstop and caught by Hardy. He looked over at the second base umpire, who was raising his arm in the air. Ted Barrett signifying out number 1. Today's Jack in the Box standings will show you the Major League RBI leaders for 1980. Cecil Cooper led the majors in runs batted in with 1 more than Mike Schmidt. Benji Ogilvy was 3rd, tied with George Brent.
Harvey's wall bangers, huh? How about that Brewer lineup back in the day?
And now Prince Fielder is attempting to join Cecil Cooper as the only Brewers to lead the major leagues in runs batted in a season. Prince has 96 as of his last at bat in the 3rd inning. Pudge fouling it for strike 1. Pudge doubled and scored in the 2nd. Latest stories on Prince talking about that episode in Los Angeles indicate that, yes, he regrets what he did going over to the Dodger clubhouse. Just very happy that he was not suspended and does not have to miss any of his team's games. In the heat of the moment, sometimes it's easy to lose sight of that, but if you're in a tight race, you have to sit out about 4 games and you're hitting.
Well, and that's what's so peculiar about the Prince's deal, because the heat of the moment is when you get hit. After the game, the heat should be gone by then.
That's true.
He stayed in the heat of the moment for quite some time.
Yeah. The heat hit him about an hour later.
You just sense it. It's kind of simmering, and then he finally said, I'm going after that guy.
And then they played the old clip from spring training of when Mike Piazza was drilled by Mota. And Mota was running all over the field trying to get away from all the people who were chasing him. Bud swings and misses, striking out. 4th strikeout for Parra.
Mota just started running from Piazza. That's not very manly.
That was one of the fastest back pedals I've seen on a baseball field. Jason Michaels rolled out to first. That got Pudge to 3rd base from where he scored on a Chris Coast RBI grounder. There's strike 1 to J. Mike. Parra with a pretty quick tempo tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike for Manny Parra.
I bumped into Uke in the dining room and I said, hey, do you ever charge the other team's clubhouse after a game? He said, no, but the other night in L.A. when after Fielder, I sent a text message to everybody that I just went into the neighboring booth and knocked out Vin Scully.
Smacked into left field. Oh, Michaels really showing the benefits of this playing time. He's on with a 2-out single, and Chris Coast will follow.
Hitting is all about timing, boy, and it's tough to maintain any sense of rhythm in the batter's box if you're not getting at bats.
Fielder holds him on. Coast is the batter. Coast got an RBI on the grounder. Ball 1 to him. Pitcher spot due up next. Wesley Wright is on deck. Nobody warming up in the Astros bullpen. It's fouled away for a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Tomorrow it's Giovanni Gallardo, who's 10-8 with a 3.59 ERA, and Wandy Rodriguez. He's 10-6 with a 2.63. Wandy has the 5th best ERA in the league. 1:05 game time tomorrow. And the Astros travel to Miami.
That'll be good to get into some of that cool Miami weather.
It's in the mid-90s there now.
Oh, is it really? I was hoping it was only in the high 80s.
Some parts of Florida anyway. That might be a little more moderate there by the coastline.
I had to take that call last inning. I apologize to our viewers. That was Libby calling from an airplane. She's on her way to Africa. I figured I better take the call. My daughter's going to Africa.
Well,
study abroad.
That's important.
Yeah.
So you're certainly allowed to check in with her on her flight to. How long a flight is it?
She's got about 20 hours of travel time altogether. Goes to London, hangs out there, and then flies down to Accra. I was hoping she was calling to help us out with that trivia question. She had nothing.
Okay, it's about what we have. Monday night in Florida, former Marlin Brian Moeller goes against Rick Vandenhurst. Happy little youngster there. Tuesday night, it's Roy Oswald and Chris Volstad. It's 2-2 to Chris Coast. Wednesday night, Bud Norris and Ricky Nolasco. And Thursday night, Mike Hampton down to start. Marlins have not listed their starter, but we're not sure about Hampton's status either for that game. After coming out of this game. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got a 4-bagger there in Florida, right?
Yes.
4-game series.
4 night games. And then on to Milwaukee for the weekend. And there's usually rain in Florida late afternoon, right? This time of year.
Yeah, pretty much bank on it.
Foul away. We've had many rain delays there over the years. Last year, that trip to Milwaukee and Florida was disastrous for the Astros. They played the Cubs in Milwaukee for 2 games. Lost both of those. Got no hit by Zambrano, then a 1-hitter by Ted Lilly in the bullpen. And they went to Florida and got swept and ran up against excellent pitching from the Marlins in that series. So maybe it'll be a turn the tables trip this time around. Roller to shortstop. Hardy to fielder. No runs, a hit, and a man stranded. After 4, it's 8-1 Brewers. MD Anderson Cancer Center, and by Dodge. Rolling outside Minute Maid Park, and it's 8-1. The Brewers lead it. They got 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 5 in the third inning. Wesley Wright came in to pitch the fourth. That was the first 0 for the Astros. Now as he faces the fifth, it's Lopez, Cameron, and Braun. Felipe Lopez has walked twice. He is 0 for 1 in this game. Mike Hampton leaving with a knee strain. And there is ball 1 to Lopez. Brewers and Astros are in different stretches of their schedule in terms of strength of schedule, if you will, which is something that baseball teams don't often make a big deal out of. It's not like football, certainly. But the Brewers are playing several games in a row now against teams under 500. The Astros have a string of games against teams over 500. It's 22 straight for the Brewers against teams under 500. The Astros have 35 of their final 53 against teams playing 500 ball or better. Right. Slick play. 1 out.
Nothing hurried about Wesley Wright. Very calm out there on the mound. Great temperament for a pitcher. Whether he's going good or things are spiraling out of control, he always kind of stays calm.
And we'll stay calm while we listen to Patty Smith.
Well, I'm glad I have that calming effect on you, Brownie, but it's time for me to introduce you to our progressive fan of the game, and tonight it is Darnell Tharp, who says parties at the ballpark are just for kids. Darnell's got the suites up here. She's hosting a party, and I know you guys are having a great time up here.
Oh, yeah, we are. I just want to thank Minute Maid Park. We are having such a good time, and I wouldn't have held my son's graduation party anywhere else.
All right, and no problem. And Christy Felice, she's the ballpark tours coordinator out here, and just tell us about some of the parties that adults can have out here, not just little parties for the kids.
Absolutely. We were given this kind of a blank slate idea, and we took a look at our kids' birthday parties that we've had going on for quite some time, tweaked it a little bit, enhanced it, and tailored it more towards an older audience so we can create a fun and exciting way for adults to enjoy their birthday parties here at the ballpark as well.
And besides the suites that like we're in right now here, right behind home plate, which is very nice, what are some of the other options for the fans to come out here and host a party?
We do have our suite package, which you're seeing right now. It's actually our weekend special, available on Saturdays and Sundays, but we really have something to offer on all ends of the spectrum. We've got a great option in 418, which is an upper deck section that has a great view of the field. We've got a couple down the left field line, as well as one down the right field line. So we've got pretty much everything that you could ask for as far as our packages are concerned.
And what's the best way for fans to get in touch with you or find out what their options are?
You can go to Astros.com on the Minute Maid Park drop-down underneath Party at the Park, or you can call 713-66-PARTY for more details.
All right, awesome information, Darnell. Thanks again for being our progressive fan of the game. All kinds of goodies in here for you, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Patty. They're having fun. 2 outs here for Wesley Wright, as Mike Cameron got underneath the ball, and it was caught by Carlos Lee. Now Ryan Braun is 1 for 3 with 2 runs batted in.
Hey, better. Swing better.
There's ball 1. Talk about a shocker last night. What about the walk-off grand slam by the Padres rookie Everett Cabrera off K-Rod?
I did not see that.
Yeah. Only 2 other rookies in the last 15 years have ended a game with a grand slam home run. Joe Crede and Jason Kubel.
Yeah, that Cabrera kid's got some game. I kind of liked him when we saw him. A great arm, can run like the wind.
Francisco Rodriguez did not get an out, with the Padres scoring 5 runs in the 9th to beat the Mets. It's only the second time in his career he has failed to record an out.
Well, see, so the Padres, the worst offensive team in baseball, score 5 off the all-time single-season saves leader. So, you know the Astros got a fighting chance in this one.
Yeah, it's just too early to give up on that kind of a comeback. You see it happen especially in this offensive era. Chris Coast coming over. What are the chances? They're certainly very small, but as you pointed out recently, that Oakland game, one of the latest cases in point.
Did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
No, we didn't, because they didn't bomb Pearl Harbor. Twins got Carl Pavano from the Indians. Did you see that trade?
I did, and he's pitching shutout baseball tonight for the Twinkies.
Ooh. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Wesley Wright being asked to stay in this ball game for a while longer than the normal appearance, and that has been the situation for several Astros pitchers this year. Tim Burdack has done it. Certainly Jeff Fulcino and the others as well. The bullpen, which has contributed more than 360 innings to the Astros' cause this year. A shot to Keppinger. He made a good play to get Braun. And the 5th, it goes in 1-2-3 fashion. 8-1 Brewers. It's 8-1 Milwaukee leading Houston, and Wesley Wright is the batter. Wesley picked up his first major league hit on the last road trip at Chicago. There's strike 1 to him. He's 1 for 2 this season. Also scored a run in that game. It's 1-1. A nice line drive that was caught in another at bat. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pressure was really on Brian Moeller, but he finally got his first major league hit. His relievers had some bragging rights on him. It's 2-2 to Wesley.
Yeah, Wesley, doesn't get many at bats. Looks like he's using somebody. He's got somebody else's bat there. Wearing Chris Sampson's helmet. Got Roy's bat.
Ground ball up the middle, and it's not fielded cleanly by Lopez. It's an error on Lopez. But Wesley made contact.
Well, that day in Chicago when he was pitching and then had the base hit and he was running the bases, he ended up having to leave, spend the night in the hospital with dehydration. Probably why the reason right about here he just kind of breaks it down. Okay, I'm out, and then the mishandle allows him to trot on down to first base.
Matsui's 0 for 2. Strike one to him. Parra's thrown 71 pitches, 72 down.
Can't for the life of me figure out why Prince Fielder could hold Wesley right on here.
No.
I guess it just feels like he needs to play in to take the bunt away from Matsui. So he'll start there at the bag and then drift over.
0-2. Keppinger's on deck.
With 2 strikes, Matsui's not going to bunt.
One and 2. Jim Thome hit his 21st home run tonight for the White Sox. They're tied 5-5 with the Indians at Chicago in the bottom of the 5th. Justin Masterson pitching for the Indians. Liner to left. Matsui gets a single. Right to second base. 2 on, nobody out. Keppinger.
There we go.
That's a start. Error created an opening.
How many times we said in a lopsided game, if you're going to come back, typically the other team opens the door for you. Either an error or 2 or some sloppy pitching, a couple of walks. Generally, somewhere in there is a big 3-run home run.
Well, Keppinger's the batter, then Pence, then Lee, then Tejada. The Astros have a shot at that here in the 5th inning. Way back in '94, the Cardinals led the Astros 11-0. Came back and won that game. There's the Astros box. Keppinger looks at ball 1. Now that's the key for each hitter to really concentrate, not give up at bats. 2 balls, no strikes. And the beauty of it is in baseball, those comebacks are really fueled by the fact that there is no clock. So if batters really grind it out, it's possible. It really takes some furious hitting, good strike zone judgment, things of that nature. Maybe some contributions by the other team. Walks, errors. 2-1.
Parra's had base runners in every inning. And the thing that would frustrate me a little bit if I were playing behind him is even with his big lead, his tempo's been pretty slow. You want your guy to be a little bit more aggressive with that big lead.
One of the criticisms of him earlier this season was that he was nibbling, shying away from his fastball, picking at corners. Something that's frequently heard about a struggling pitcher.
Well, if you're going to nibble, you have to commit to it. And what happens is you nibble and you get behind, and then you throw one right down the middle.
Well, that's ball 4, and now the bases are loaded for Hunter Pence. Second walk for Parra.
The fans sensing the Astros creeping back into this game. Happy birthday.
Well, what a birthday present that could be. A furious comeback. Bill Castro's out to try to prevent that from happening.
Listen to this place.
This is fun. There's some energy here.
It's ninth inning energy in the 5th because the fans realize this is the Astros' best chance to make a game out of it and send them home happy.
Hunter Pence. Has walked and bounced into a force play.
Good solid approach here. Don't get too greedy. Make sure you get a pitch you can do something with.
Bounces it foul over Wesley Wright for strike one. He is 0 for 9 with 6 strikeouts with the bases loaded this season. 222 in his career.
Maybe just pressing a little bit. Overly anxious.
Foul. 0-2.
Doing a nice job here. Got the jump on him from a changeup. Hunter pulled foul for strike one, and then sensing that Hunter maybe was going to stay back a little bit longer out of respect for the changeup, got a good heater in on his hands.
Carlos Lee on deck. 1-2 to Hunter Pence.
Prince Fielder playing way off the line, trying to close the hole between first and second base, with the middle infielders playing for the double play. That allows Jeff Keppinger to get a huge lead. And that could be critical to break up a potential double play that would really suck the life out of this rally, or potential rally.
Ground ball to Lopez, little toss to Hardy, safe at first, and Wesley Wright scores. Well, Pence beat the relay throw, which could have made it a double play. Now it's an 8-2 ball game. Pence getting his 46th run batted in. Runners at first and third.
You see the lead of Keppinger. And just about any other hitter going down the line, that's an easy double play, but not really that close at first base. Pence gets that great break out of the box. And this wasn't so much Keppinger applying pressure to Hardy, just the break and the speed of Pence.
Carlos Lee. Ball one. There's a single and a ground ball to third, which was hit well. Miguel Tejada on deck. Brewers bullpen is busy now.
Get too greedy here, but just strike one. He was cheating on a fastball. Took a good healthy rip. Fooled him with an off-speed pitch.
Mike Burns is warming up for Milwaukee, a former Astro. It's 1-2. Now, typically Carlos will adopt his two-strike approach here and abandon that swing for the fences, go for some contact.
Let the pitch travel a little bit further, stay back, just be willing to punch a single the other way.
Ground ball to short. And Hardy tosses, and Lopez relays. And it's a 6-4-3 double play to end the fifth inning. 1 run scoring, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left. 8-2 Brewers. to Reed.
Well, I read, going phases. I'm a big Patricia Cornwell fan. Pretty much read all her stuff. Right now, not reading. I'm chasing kids around, so there's not much time for reading.
Understandable. 8-2 Brewers. They have 8 hits to the Astros 5. Each club with 1 error. Wesley Wright scored a run. It was unearned in the 5th inning. And the Astros had a shot there, but hit into a double play. And that's been a real nemesis for them this season. They have grounded into 108 double plays this year. Prince Fielder leads it off in the 6th. 1 for 3 with an RBI. Strike as Wesley Wright begins inning number 3 in relief. Mike Hampton leaving with the knee injury after going 2, and then Norman Bizzardo worked 1. In tight, 1-1. With Matsui on the outfield grass at second base. Joe Mauer hit his 20th home run. The Twins are leading 8-0 at Detroit in the top of the 8th inning. There's how deep Matsui is. Deep drive to left center field. Jason Michaels turning back toward the bullpen wall. It bangs back toward the infield. Carlos Lee picks it up. A double for Fielder. That's his 26th two-base hit of the year.
A lot of good left-handed hitters will continue to hit for a pretty good average against left-handed pitching, but sacrifice power. Prince still gets a lot of extra base hits against lefties. He's got such a home run hitter swing, a little uppercut, so explosive.
He does drive the ball hard that way. Casey McGee is 2 for 3.
Maybe nails on that slow pitch softball circuit. That swing. This gig pays a little better. You can have some fun when he's done playing.
Ball 1 to McGee. McGee coming along nicely for the Brewers at third base this season. Carl Pavano is spinning that shutout for the Twins tonight at Detroit, 8-0 in the top of the 8th. Justin Verlander gave up 5 runs in 6 innings. 1 ball and 1 strike to McGee. The Twins have fallen 3 games below 500 at 53 and 56, but they're only 5.5 behind the Tigers. Charged by Tejada, and he throws over to Coast. Fielder to third, 1 out.
Time for batting stance guy. Check him out here. Whose swing is he imitating? Log on to Fox Sports Houston's Twitter page and make your guess. Greg will have the answer on Astros Live after the game. Wow. Got a clue for you. Hall of Fame first baseman. Over 500 career home runs. The American League Rookie of the Year in the 70s.
Infield in for Bill Hall. Hall's 0 for 2 with a walk, has scored a run. There's ball 1 to him. And Wesley Wright said about that dehydration you talked about. He really did not want to leave Wrigley Field on a gurney, but that's the way he left Wrigley Field on his way to the hospital. Get some IVs in him.
He weighs about $130 soaking wet.
Yeah.
That's a little hyperbole. But
2 balls and no strikes. Hall's close to home, Mississippi. Nettleton. Broken bat, looping base hit to score a run, 9-2. RBI single for Bill Hall. 22nd run batted in.
Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. Astros are the bug tonight. Seems like when they hit the ball hard, it's right at somebody. The Brewers have had all kinds of hits. Some soft, some not. Fielder knocked the daylights out of his.
That's 10 hits for Milwaukee. J.J. Hardy has been on all 3 times. Infield hit, 2 walks. Strike to Hardy. Brewers have a good young shortstop in the minor leagues, Alcides Escobar. Hardy hit 24 homers last year. He drove in 74 runs. He's far from that pace this season.
There was talk as the trade deadline approached that Escobar or Hardy might be dealt. A little pitching help.
0-2. Hardy went 0 for 28 over one stretch this year. Hit only .228 in the month of July. He'll turn 27 in a couple of weeks. That one bounces and gets away, and the base runner Hall on the wild pitch moves to second. Mike Rivera is on deck.
Wesley probably running on fumes right about now.
Yeah. Broken bat. Winds up in the seats. Now he's in his 3rd inning of work. It's his 2nd straight appearance, trying to go 3 anyway. Quite often he'll go 2/3 of an inning. He went 2 2/3 at Texas back in June. It was right after returning from the minor leagues. And he had stretched it out there a little bit. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, the plan was for him to go down there and start a little bit.
Somebody asked him about that a week or 2 ago, and he said, in order to start, I would have to develop a better off-speed pitch.
Yeah, but you could see him, you know, he's a pretty good athlete, and he's got a good curveball, so there's no reason to think he couldn't come up with a good straight changeup. It's not like the Astros are loaded with left-handers. It might be a pretty good try.
Stranger things have happened. Strike. Hardy caught looking. 2 outs. That's the 3rd strikeout to right.
JJ just not able to pull the trigger. That fastball on the knee, but right over the heart of the plate.
Mike Rivera, 32-year-old veteran backstop, signed with Detroit back in '97. Came to the big leagues for the first time in '01 from Puerto Rico. He missed some downtime with a sprained ankle earlier this season.
It's ironic that this game comes on the anniversary of the fastest game in American League history.
How fast was that?
1 hour and 13 minutes.
What year?
1920. Howard Emke beat the New York Yankees 1-0.
Howard Emke won an important World Series game for the Philadelphia A's. Two balls, no strikes. He hadn't been pitching much, and they sent him ahead to scout. I think it was the Cubs the year they played, early 1900s. And he went to scout them, really paid a lot of attention to what their hitters were doing, their strengths and weaknesses, and wound up beating them in a World Series game. Had seldom been starting in the couple of weeks leading up to the World Series. And he was a surprise starter for that game. 3 balls, no strikes.
It's kind of a different approach to send a pitcher on ahead to scout.
Very much so. Things were done differently in those days.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Rivera takes the intentional walk now. Bring up Manny Parra.
In the minor leagues, pitchers scout to a certain extent. They'll sit in the stands and keep charts. They'll keep a radar gun and keep charts. The starting pitchers, well, on nights they're not pitching. I don't know if all organizations still do it. Most used to, and I imagine most still do.
I think Bud Norris was charting when he got the phone call that he was going to join the Astros.
And it used to be the norm in Major League dugouts that pitchers would keep charts. If you were starting the next day, you would keep a chart of what pitch was thrown, whether it was a ball or a strike. One's a fastball, two's a curve, three's a slider, and then what the outcome of the at bat. And then you'd also keep spray charts. Somebody else would keep a spray chart. So you'd have the hitter's tendencies as to where he hit the ball.
And you think that has outlived its usefulness now?
Well, there's so much data available and so much scouting done, advanced scouting and things of that nature. I don't think it's necessarily outlived its usefulness, but the need for pitchers to do it is probably not there. When I was with the Twins, we still did it, and I think we were, and this is going back to the mid-'90s, and I think we were one of the few teams that were still doing it. They may still be doing it over there. They're very old school. They still take infield practice, and most teams don't.
One and two to Manny Parra. Well, the pitcher was certainly actively engaged in watching that other team's lineup. He was charting.
Yeah, that was part of the theory. I never really felt like I got anything from keeping the chart. I think it's good to compile the information so that the manager could have it or the pitching coach. It's also a good way to keep tomorrow's starting pitcher from hanging out in the clubhouse with Buck Kincaid drinking coffee.
Little roller comes out to Wesley Wright. He throws to Coast for the out. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 men left for the Brewers in the 6th inning. They lead it 9-2. It's the Coors Light 6th inning. Time now for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Showing you Wesley Wright. Catch, inspect, and release. On the hot shot up the middle. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed. Coors Light.
Yeah, that used to be a thing, right? You get a ball hit sharply to you, and you have plenty of time. Go ahead and take a look at it. Read the commissioner's name. Get a good grip on the seams, then step and throw. Don't be in a big hurry. Then if you really want to show up a hitter, you take a fake bite out of it. Hold it as long as possible, make him sprint down the line.
Tim Burdach's warming up. Miguel Tejada, the batter, home 6th inning, 9-2 Brewers. Wesley Wright to 53 pitches in one of his games in Chicago. That was the 2 1/3 inning game. Roy Oswalt was hurt. He's thrown 61 pitches tonight so far in 3 innings. There's strike one to Miguel Tejada. Rodriguez and Michaels to follow against Manny Parra. Parra at 90 pitches for the ball game.
On the ropes in the last inning, he got the big double play ball off the bat of Carlos Lee, and the 5th inning is so important for a starting pitcher because you have to finish 5 to qualify for the win.
Two balls and a strike.
But your mission as a starter when you've got a big lead like this is get as many outs as possible and save that 10 for tomorrow.
To right field, Bill Hall. One down. Parra was sent to the minors after going 0-4 over a stretch of 5 games with an ERA of 13.5. Bud Rodriguez with a double in 2 trips, 1 for 2. Parra, a 26th round draft choice in 01. He was a draft follow and evaluate type pitcher and signed for $1.5 million. So obviously the 26th round not an indicator of his talent.
Oh, kind of like Roy.
Yeah.
Roy, draft and follow. You draft a guy one year and you don't sign him, and then you have rights until the next year's draft. Obviously, both those guys would have been much higher draft picks had they stayed in the draft.
1-1. That deadline's coming up here, August 17th, for signing this year's draft choices. Only 9 days away. One of the teams just signed its first round pick a few days ago.
So that's obviously a new rule, that August 15th deadline, because that essentially eliminates the draft and follow.
Yes. And teams were using that quite successfully to just track a player, keep his rights for a year, then sign him if he had progressed and they felt he was worth more money than where he was drafted. Beautiful night out there. Into left field. It just got a little more beautiful for Pudge Rodriguez. He's 2 for 3. Jason Michaels follows.
Now the Astros encourage you to check out the 10-game flex plan presented by Papa John's. With this plan, you choose the 10 games you want to see. All the details are available at Astros.com. I suggest you act now. What is this? Probably, what, 20, 30 home games remaining, right?
Let's see. This is number 58. So that'd be 23. Yeah.
23 home games remaining.
Well, that's scary. We both came up with the same number.
Yeah.
Must be wrong.
Simple ciphering we can handle. That long division gets to be a little bit of a problem.
Michaels takes it, and it's 1-1. Jason 1 for 2 tonight. It's Florida 4, Philadelphia 3 at the end of 6 in Philadelphia. Chris Coughlin hit his 6th homer for the Fish. Cody Ross belted number 20. Chan Ho Park is in that game now for the Phillies in relief. Wonder who's going to leave their starting rotation. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They announced that Jay Happ wouldn't be leaving their rotation. So they now have 6 guys for a 5-man rotation.
Ruben Amaro implied that they might go with 6 guys for a stretch.
Okay. That solves that. Jamie Moyer probably is the guy who's not pitching as well as the others. He's not pitching that badly. Hit into right field by J. Mike. He's really having some nice at-bats here this week with the playing time he's getting. He's 2 for 3 in this game. First and second one out for Chris Coast now.
Parra throws this pitch in the outer part of the plate, but up, and Jason gets on top of it. Does a nice job of getting that top hand up on top and driving that ball through the hole on the right side. Yeah, he's really doing a nice job.
Nice 2-strike swing. Jeff Blum on deck for the pitcher, with Chris Coast batting. Tim Burdack in the bullpen. Smacked into left field by Coast. And Dave Clark is going to send Rodriguez to make it 9-3. RBI single for Coast, his second run batted in, giving him 16 for the season. 3 straight Astro hits. And now Blum, who is 3 for 5 in his career against Parra.
Parra up over 100 pitches now. That will get the Brewer bullpen busy again as pitcher coach Bill Castro out for another visit.
Six-run lead still for Parra. Claudio Vargas is getting loose in the bullpen.
If there's such a thing, it can be a very comfortable 6-run lead for Ken Maka over there in the Brewer dugout. I mean, his pitchers had base runners in every inning. Back up against the wall a couple of times. Figure it's just a matter of time before his luck runs out.
Ken Maka chewing away, and it's Jeff Blum pinch hitting. 270 batting average for Jeff. And he takes ball 1 as he bats for Wesley Wright. 3 innings for Wesley. Allowed 2 hits, 1 run. Walking 2. And striking out 3. Blum takes that pitch. Count runs to 2-0. Jeff had a couple of hits and a walk last night. 1 for 6 with 1 RBI as a pinch hitter this season. But 22 at bats as a right-handed hitter, hitting .364 in those. And now Parra is struggling to find the strike zone. It's 3-0.
He just missed for the first 2 pitches there. Pretty good pitches, just off that outside corner, maybe down. Then he got himself in a position where he knew he had the challenge with the fastball, but just didn't trust it enough to throw it in the strike zone.
3-1 to Blum.
And that's the evidence right there. When a pitcher can throw the 3-0 fastball over the plate because he's pretty sure the hitter's taking, but tougher to commit to that pitch when it's 2-0, 3-1 because you feel like the hitter's probably swinging in those counts.
Ball 4 loads the bases for Matsui. A pinch walk for Blum. That's the 3rd walk for Parra. Maybe his last batter. Still a 6-run lead.
He has the body language of a pitcher who's clinging to a 1-run lead or is, giving up a bunch of runs and is losing the game. It looked like he has a whole lot of confidence.
Well, Ken Maka has picked up on that, and he's making the move here to Vargas. Parra has gone to 5 innings to qualify for the win, but then with 1 out in the 6th inning, he ran into a roadblock. It's 9-3 Milwaukee. Back in a moment. Bottom of the 6th inning. Here's tonight's Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Attention, assist of the game. It was a ground ball from Eddie Murray, fielded by Cecil Cooper from behind first base. The final out for Milwaukee to clinch the AL East in '82. And now as he tries to figure out a way for his club to get back in this game, trailing 9-3. It's Matsui against Vargas. Vargas in 11 games has no decisions, an ERA of 2.7.
That was the final out. Why was he throwing the ball back to the mound?
Yeah, that couldn't have been the final out.
Come on, Cook.
All right.
No, it wasn't the final out. No. Cook could pick it. Boy, he was slick down there at first base.
Matsui is 1 for 3. Bases loaded, 1 out here with Keppinger on deck. Vargas misses ball 1. Vargas last night worked 1 hitless inning. Todd Coffey's warming up right now. Vargas got Matsui out in the 7th. He swung at the first pitch and grounded to second. Vargas again misses that corner and falls behind 2-0. He came from the Dodgers at the end of July and a trade for catcher Vinny Rotino. He inherits Jason Michaels at third, Chris Coast at second, and at first Jeff Plum.
Maybe more importantly, he inherits Sam Holbrook. The home plate umpires had a pretty tight zone tonight. I'm surprised that there's been 18 hits and 12 runs.
Fly ball to right on a broken bat. It's caught by Hall. Here's the tag at third, and the throw to the plate comes on through, but Michaels scores. Sacrifice fly, Matsui. 9-4 game. Matsui gets his 29th run batted in. And Milwaukee will make that exchange. They'll run for an out here.
Absolutely. Productive out anyway for Matsui as he shatters his bat. It's just enough of it to get it deep enough to score Michaels. But the Astros, they need that big ball. They need somebody to knock one out of here. A couple men on base.
Keppinger has singled and walked. He did not face Vargas last night. Vargas has pitched scoreless baseball in all 3 of his appearances against the Astros this season. 2 as a Dodger in Los Angeles, July 16th and 17th. He hits that corner and it's strike 1. Vargas, 30 years old. He signed with the Marlins in '95. Traded to Montreal in '02. 0-2. That was a big Carl Pavano deal. Been a starter most of his career. And gets strike 3 on Keppinger. In the 6th inning, the Astros come up with 2 runs on 3 hits. They lead 2. It's 9-4 Brewers.
Park. I was hanging out here in the Crawford boxes, and I looked down, and all these people, turn around, guys, every one of them has on their jerseys. From down here, we've got Roger Clemens, Hunter Pence, I've got Mr. and Mrs. Biggio here, we've got a Bagwell, a Nolan Ryan, a Berkman, a Lee. Representation from all the way around. And let's start with Nolan Ryan here. I know you are a big Nolan Ryan fan. It doesn't matter what the Astros are doing. You're a diehard.
Astro fan since the 60s.
And another generation, little guy here. Turn around so we can see you there, buddy. Jeff Bagwell. What is it about Jeff Bagwell? All the jerseys you could buy. Why this one?
He's just been my favorite player on the Astros, and just liked him.
Yeah, and of course we've got a million Craig Biggio memories. You guys, you're both giving it up for Craig.
Well, it's either Biggio or Bagwell when it comes down to the two great players of the last several years.
And every once in a while, a Milwaukee Brewer will come into the picture. And these guys, they're loyal. Boo the Brewer fan, guys.
Good-natured fun, Patty.
Boo the Brewer.
Tim Burdock's in the game. It's 2-0 for him. And now a strike to Felipe Lopez, who's walked twice. Wesley Wright in 3 innings, allowing 2 hits, 1 run. He walked 2 and fanned 3. Manny Parra threw 107 pitches, 69 of them strikes. Now it's a 3-1 count for Burdock. Parra in 5 1/3 innings gave up 8 hits, 4 runs. There's Jeff Blum staying in at third. 3 runs earned, allowed by Parra. He walked 3 and fanned 4. So the pitcher Burdock is in the number 2 spot in the lineup, with Blum playing third and batting 9th. Leadoff walk there for Lopez, his 3rd walk of the night.
3 solid innings from Wesley Wright. Now Tim Burdock comes in for the 47th time this year. 1-1 with a 3.55 earned run average. He came in last night, faced 1 batter and walked him, but in my estimation did a good job. Sounds a little bizarre, but the hitter was Prince Fielder. It was at a critical time with a couple of men on base, and he made some quality pitches, just refused to give in. He ended up walking him, and all things considered, that was not the worst thing that could happen in that scenario. Chino came in behind him and got the big strikeout of Mike Cameron.
Now that's what Tim was saying tonight before the game. Mike Cameron with a single and a walk tonight in 4 trips. That's a strike to make it 1-1. Didn't want to groove one, catch a lot of the plate. Didn't want to walk him either, but that wound up happening. Strike, and it's 1-2. And Tim thinks he's still going through that adjustment phase. The hitters saw a lot of him last season. They have a pretty good book on him. He may need to change some patterns. They've done a nice job on right-handed hitters. They're hitting 167 against him. Fouled away, still 1-2. And sometimes he debates whether to drop down on a left-handed hitter or not. And he was talking about arm slots tonight and just really wanting to be able to feel where that arm slot is when he releases the pitch, and said he's not always in sync with feeling that. That makes it more difficult for him to use a different release point. 2-2.
Well, Tim's 35 years of age now, still has good stuff. And if he got to a point where he was getting hit around a little bit, you could see him making an adjustment and dropping down a little bit, becoming a situational lefty.
Carlos Lee underneath this one.
And there's plenty of left-handed pitchers with far less stuff than Tim Burdock that have pitched a good long while in the major leagues just by changing that arm angle, dropping down, and just relying on eating up left-handed hitters. He knew he had a pitch.
Yep. Even in a 9-4 ball game, hitters do not like making outs on pitches they think they should be able to drive. Ryan Braun is 1 for 4 with 2 runs batted in. White Sox lead Cleveland now 7-5 in the bottom of the 7th. Strike to Braun. Florida 4, Philadelphia 3, bottom of the 7th at Citizens Bank Park. That Florida club is not wilting so far. 6 games behind the Phillies in second place, 3 above 500 right now. Foul back, 0-2. They picked up Nick Johnson. Carl Pavano in Minnesota polished off Detroit 11-0. Pavano going to 10-8. Justin Verlander, the loser, 12-6. Joe Mauer hit his 20th home run for the Twins. Braun strikes out. 2 down.
Missed his spot by about 3 feet. Still got his man.
Prince Fielder. Now this is a repeat scenario of last night. Burdack walking Fielder. There's strike 1.
Now this situation, a 9-4 ball game, that it's a different dynamic. Not trying to really pitch all that carefully to Prince, trying to get him out. He's the type of hitter you'd never want to just throw a fastball right down the middle to.
1-1. 35,216 bought tickets for this one tonight. Final game of the homestand comes tomorrow. Wandy Rodriguez returning to the mound. Tony Gallardo will oppose him. A pair of 10-game winners tomorrow at 105. 2 balls, 1 strike to Prince with that Minnesota win over Detroit. The Twins are 4.5 behind the Tigers. Gives Chicago a chance to move to within 2, and the White Sox are winning 7-5 over Cleveland after 7. Fly ball to left field, driven a long way. That one sails into the seats. A 2-run homer by Fielder, number 27. That's 3 runs batted in for him tonight, giving him 98 for the season. And it's 11-4 Milwaukee.
And we kept talking about the Astros needing someone to knock one out of the ballpark. And obviously, the other part of that equation was they have to stop the Brewers from scoring, and they just have not been able to do that as the Brewers continue to pile on here. And there's your National League RBI leader, adding a couple of more. A little slicing fly ball, and if not for the slice, that's in that corner for extra bases, but slices into the Crawford boxes for the home run.
Fielder's 3rd long ball against the Astros this season.
Prince will tell you it's not a slice, it's a power fade.
It was hit well. He takes the ball to left and left center. Hit that double to left center in the 6th inning, even further than the ball he just hit.
He's such a good hitter. He's not just a big man, with great power. He's a very good hitter. If you watch him take swings like that, and you think, well, gee, we could probably bust him in, and we've seen him turn on some fastballs and pull them, and that's when he hits the monster shots.
Now McGee works the count to 3 balls, no strikes. Albert Pujols was the league leader with 97 runs batted in. As JD mentioned, Fielder now has 1 more than Albert with 3 tonight. 3 balls and a strike. And that's for the major league lead as well. Justin Morneau led the American League with 89 coming into play tonight. So maybe he will be the first Brewer since Cecil Cooper to lead the majors in runs batted in. 3-2 to McGee. Eleven runs on 11 hits for Milwaukee.
5th time in the last 12 ball games the Astros have allowed double digits.
Well, before last night, in the previous 8 games, the starters were 2-6 with an 8.53 earned run average. That's strike 3 to end the Milwaukee 7th. With 2 runs on 1 hit, Brewers lead it 11-4. This game summary is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Mike Hampton left the game with a right knee sprain. 2 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. Prince Fielder has a homer, 3 runs batted in, 3 for 5 tonight. And the catcher Mike Rivera, 2 for 3 with 3 runs batted in. 7 Brewers have reached base at least twice. It's 11-4, and Hunter Pence comes up. Bottom of the 7th inning. He has an RBI. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. And ball 1. Carlos Lee, Miguel Tejada to follow in the Astros 7th. Hunter swings at that one upstairs, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count for Vargas.
A number of the patrons have headed to the exits. Or maybe they're just hungry.
They might be heading for food. They usually stick around on Saturday nights. 2 balls, 1 strike. The Brewers will be playing San Diego after an off day Monday. They're back home. Their Wednesday starter listed as TBA.
This guy here, Vargas, is the youngest of 12 children growing up. He always had a game.
Always. He probably never felt lonely. No lack of company around that household. Towering fly ball up in the rafters, and it comes straight down.
That hit a girder.
He got it.
Free chicken sandwich if you hit the foul pole. You don't get anything for hitting the girder.
2-2 the count. Kansas City smacking Oakland around. 9-3 Kansas City, bottom of the 7th inning. Mike Jacobs and Miguel Olivo have gone deep, each with his 15th of the year. Fly ball hits for center field. Mike Cameron, 1 out. We'll be joining Patty Smith now.
Well, Jay just reminded me of those Chick-fil-A foul poles. Of course, the cows are everywhere, and if you take a look in the outfield, anytime an Astro player hits one of the Chick-fil-A foul poles, fans from that game can take their ticket stubs to any greater Houston area Chick-fil-A for a free chicken sandwich. Thanks for the reminder there, JD.
Yeah. Just saw that a few days ago with Kazuo Matsui hitting that foul pole. Carlos Lee's 1 for 3.
Did you guys cash in?
We didn't have ticket stubs.
No, I meant to go down in the stands and scrounge around for a ticket, but I forgot.
How about you, Patty? You weren't here that night, were you?
I was here that night.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Oh, I cashed in.
You did?
Oh, yeah. Yep. JD and I have talked about Chick-fil-A so much, I don't even need a ticket stub. We can just walk in and they hand them out to us.
Well, they know you guys pretty well out there at your Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. You know, I honestly can't tell you how many fans come up to me out here at the ballpark and make some joke about JD and I at the Chick-fil-A.
Hanging at Chick-fil-A.
It's amazing.
It's like Arnold's on Happy Days.
Have you tried their lemonade, Patty?
No, actually, I was there yesterday and was tempted to try the peach shake, though, but, you know, had to try to keep the girlish figure.
Not me.
Yeah.
I've done those shakes. They're awfully good.
There's a balance in there somewhere, Patty. We're all trying to find it.
It's all about balance, but there's something for everyone. I had my little grilled chicken salad, so it worked.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Prince Fielder's National League lead in RBIs, Major League lead in RBIs is short-lived.
Oh.
Pujols, he got 3 tonight. So he's up to 100 now.
Good grief. Some kind of a pace. Three balls, 2 strikes.
All right, we're still looking for home run number 300 from Carlos. Here's something for the folks to get excited about here.
After the series in St. Louis, Tony La Russa kind of put the word out that Pujols' right elbow was bothering him, but Albert said it wasn't. And now he's going on a hitting tear again. That's number 300. Coming down in the Landry's Crawford boxes. Home run number 300 for Carlos Lee. The third Astro to join the 300 club this year, joining Lance Berkman and Pudge Rodriguez, and the first Panamanian-born player to hit 300 for a career.
And the first time in Major League history that a team has had 3 players achieve that milestone. There's the wave to the family. A hug to Pudge. And I suspect a curtain call. It's a nice round number for the big man.
Standing ovation for Carlos Lee. Where did the ball wind up? Well, he comes out and acknowledges. Miguel Tejada looks at ball 1. It's a season of milestones with those 3 players getting home run number 300. Miguel Tejada, 2,000 hits. It's 1-1. First team in history, as JD mentioned, to have 3 players hitting number 300 in the same season.
Now, we might not beat you every night, but we can out resume you.
It's 11-5. Bounce to the shortstop. McGee cuts across, throws, and just clips Tejada. 2 outs. I didn't see where that baseball wound up.
Oh, yeah, they shut out. Well, there was a lady out there that had it, I believe. Good job by McGee here, cutting in front of Hardy and gobble up that ground ball, and they get Miggy by just that much. Just pinched.
Pudge Rodriguez, 2 for 3 tonight. 2 runs scored for Pudge. There's ball 1 to him. He's getting close to 2,800 hits now. 2,700 hits. Ground ball to shortstop. Lopez regains his balance and throws over to first. In the 7th inning, Carlos Lee is the 3rd Astro to hit number 300 this season. It was a no-doubter. He could enjoy it, but the Astros trailed 11-5. It's time to bring you up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. 11-5 ball game. The Brewers leading. Tim Burdack throwing. Strike one to Bill Hall. Hall has an RBI. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. Also has scored a run tonight. That one goes toward the seats, and it's 0-2.
There has been exactly 1, 2, 3 half inning in this ball game tonight.
You're kidding.
The Brewers in the top half of the 5th went out 1, 2, 3.
Leslie Wright did the pitching.
Makes him the player of the game in my estimation.
Yes, it does. It's 1-2. 11 hits for the Brewers, 9 for the Astros, 1 error for each club. Brewers have stranded 9. The Astros have left 7. It's 2-2. Andy Rodriguez is acting like he's fine to take his start tomorrow and be normal in terms of not letting that injury bother him, the hamstring.
And it's one of those deals you just never know until you get out there and tax it, because no matter what you do in the bullpen, you can't replicate what you would do if you went out and pitched 7 innings of a Major League Baseball game.
Hunter Pence in. 1 out. That will be J.J. Hardy. Hardy has been on 3 times with a single, 2 walks, 2 runs scored. Aaron Boone will start his rehab assignment next Monday. AA Corpus Christi. So fans of the Hooks can get a chance to see him play. He'll stay there until the 3rd week in August. Then he'll move to AAA Round Rock. Strike one. That's quite a comeback story after he underwent open heart surgery March 27th. He's been going through all the pre-game drills with the Astros, working his way back in shape. No balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I'm going to guess you'd give a little less than even money that a guy would come back and play in the same season that he had heart surgery. That's just incredible.
That is truly amazing.
Not all the way back yet, but if everything goes well on the rehab assignment and comes back to Houston, that will be a special moment for a guy who's never played an inning in an Astros uniform. It still will be a very special night at the ballpark.
Foul back, still a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Tampa Bay and Seattle have a later start tonight. Mariners won a thriller last night on Ryan Langerhans' home run. Drive to right center field. Jason Michaels with a long run. Sliding. Oh, Jason Michaels came up with it on the warning track in right center field. Tremendous play.
Wow, Jason Michaels is playing some baseball. 2 home runs last night. And now takes away a likely triple from J.J. Hardy. That's a great catch. Wonderful effort. We got a little Willie Mays, got a little Jimmy Edmonds mixed in there.
Mark Bailey loved it. Astros bullpen coach had a front row seat for that spectacular play. Mike Rivera had a nice evening. There's strike one. Driven in 3. He is 2 for 3 with a walk. That is some kind of effort. You know, the score is 11-5, but what some people might take away from a game like this is watching a catch like that and seeing Carlos Lee hit his 300th home run.
I was thinking the same exact thing. Even in a lopsided game where the home team is getting beaten, is down early. There's some entertaining plays.
Ooh, that was right underneath us.
That would have been exciting too.
What's on tap for the Astros is brought to you by Bud Light. It's Giovanni Gallardo, who's made 22 starts. Wandy Rodriguez also with 22 starts, a pair of 10-game winners. Wandy's ERA among the best in the league, 5th best right now, at 2.63. Gallardo also a top-notch pitcher. Should be fun tomorrow, 105. Astros live at 12:30. Jason Michaels made a tremendous catch on the drive by Hardy. It's 11-5 Brewers. Mike looking at the warm-up tosses of Chris Smith, the 27-year-old right-hander who made his debut last year with Boston. And now coming into this ball game with no decisions and an ERA of 3.73 in 22 games with Milwaukee.
Bet you he's from California.
He's from Apple Valley, California.
You know, I could tell.
No.
The way he wears his hat.
Okay.
That flat brimmer thing. It's mostly the California tribe that wears their hat that way.
Okay.
And he's an interesting cat. I was just watching him when he came in. Before throwing any warm-up pitches, he mimed his delivery with no ball, but went through his full delivery and doing a little visualization, threw a couple of phantom pitches home.
Haven't seen that before. There's ball one to J. Mike. He is 2 for 3 tonight. Smith is the guy who hit Manny Ramirez with a pitch a few nights ago in Los Angeles, and then Yamamoto retaliated by hitting Prince Fielder with a pitch. It's 2-0. Smith's pitch just kind of brushed the uniform shirt of Manny Ramirez. He played 3 seasons at Cal Riverside. Set a school record there for strikeouts. Drafted by the Red Sox in the 4th round. Got his first major league win for them last year, making 12 appearances for them last season. Then Milwaukee picked him up as a minor league free agent last December. 2 balls and a strike. First time the Astros have seen Chris Smith. Last outing was in that game Tuesday at Los Angeles. And the batting average against him is only .214. Had a good season going at Nashville. 2-0 there with 12 saves and a 1.38 ERA. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Claudio Vargas went an inning and 2/3, allowing 1 hit, 1 run, no walks, and 1 strikeout. Popped up, fielder over into foul territory. 1 out for Smith. Stay tuned after the game for Astros Live, presented by the MD Anderson Cancer Center. Kevin Eschenfelder and Jimmy Wynn will have a complete recap. You'll hear Cecil Cooper's post-game comments, a preview of Wandy Rodriguez's start tomorrow, and the answer to batting stance guy, all coming up after the game. Chris Coast has 2 runs batted in tonight. He's 1 for 3. Jeff Blum on deck. Strike for Chris Smith. Smith came up June 4th from Nashville. That's hammered foul. Dave Clark low bridge by that one. 0-2. That was on him in a flash.
He's a Gold Glove boxer. He's quick. He's quicker than Floyd Mayweather.
That's a good commercial. And the one with Andy Roddick's good too. Line drive to right field. That's in for a hit for Chris Coast. Not hit nearly as well as the foul ball, but he's on. And takes it to right field on an 0-2 count. Good game for Chris Coast tonight.
I like the spots where the guy is scamming the little kids. Hey, you want to play with a red truck? And he lets the kid play with it for about 10 seconds. Have you seen those?
No.
And he gives him a piece of cardboard.
No.
A little chubby kid. It's a piece of junk.
Jeff Blum drew a pinch walk in the 6th inning, then stayed in to play third base. Matsui's on deck. 1 out. Smith dealing ball 1. Brewer bullpen has 18 wins, 15 losses, a 4.28 ERA. And the Astro pen had worked 13 innings more than the Brewers bullpen coming into this game. That's to right field, and Bill Hall comes in for it. 2 outs. Matsui to follow.
Jeff Blum just missed hitting that one about 500 feet. Boy, he had a home run swing, just a little too much top spin.
Apple Valley, California, Chris Smith's home. It's also the home of Frank Pastore. Remember him?
Oh, yeah. The Animal? No,
Brad Leslie.
Brad Leslie was the Animal.
Yeah. Ball one. Frank Pastore came up in '79, and he used to hang with Tom Seaver. He was called a Tom Seaver clone in Cincinnati. Tried to do everything the way Tom Seaver did it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Not a bad guy to copy, certainly.
Yeah. Better have strong legs if you're going to pitch like Tom Seaver.
Yes.
It's kind of Tom Seaver had that drop and drive delivery, and they were teaching it throughout the Mets organization. A lot of pitchers tried to mimic it, but very few could pull it off.
1-2. Understandable. You work long and hard on those legs. Most pitchers do, but some just really go crazy with it. Owen Ryan did a whole lot of work on his legs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nolan would be on an exercise bike after he started a game, wouldn't he?
I would imagine at some point. I'm not sure, to tell you the truth.
I think late in his career,
maybe.
Rangers.
Charlie Hoff would be on an exercise bike with a schmag and a crossword puzzle. He lasted a good long while.
Yes, he did. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Now with 2 outs, Coast will be moving off first. And it's grounded into left field. Single for Matsui, hit number 2. 5 hits away from 2,000 combined between Japan and Major League Baseball.
Tell you what, the Astros, the critics will say, yeah, they left too many guys on base. They had opportunities to get back in the game, but ultimately, you score 5, 6 runs, double figures in hits. That's a good night offensively.
Yes.
This one is not on the hitters.
No. Darren Erstad comes up to pinch hit. Batting for Tim Burdack, who in 2 innings allowed 1 hit and 2 runs. He had 1 walk and struck out 3. Astros warming up a right-hander.
This is interesting. The Brewers lead 11-5, but Bill Castro way ahead of Dewey Robinson in trips to the mound tonight.
He sure is. Alberto Arias is warming up for Houston.
This is one of those, if you're Ken Mock over there in that dugout, when your team puts 11 runs on the board, there's no way you're going to let it slip away. You're going to make sure you've got guys ready in that bullpen in case the improbable starts to happen.
Darren Erstad, 191, 1 homer, 6 runs batted in for 94 at bats. He's 8 for 35 as a pinch hitter, including a pinch homer. On the infield of J.J. Hardy. In the 8th inning for Houston, no runs, 2 hits, a couple of men left on base. It's 11-5 Brewers after 8.
Catch the game on your computer with MLB.tv. It's the ultimate baseball experience featuring 100 out-of-market games per week. They're live on your computer. You can catch those you missed on demand. For more details, visit Astros.com. That's where baseball is always on. Hey, fine chapeau there.
Oh, yes. Extremely stylish. Alberto Arias comes in for the 9th inning. 11-5 Milwaukee. He's 2-1 with a 2.66 ERA.
Pinch hitter Jody Garrett, and then the top of the order for the Brewers for Alberto. Looking to have a quick, efficient, not too many pitches used inning here.
Garrett is a 202 hitter. 4 homers, 18 runs batted in. That's a good way to start it. Strike 1 on the inside edge to Garrett. And after joining Milwaukee, he's hit 160 for 50 at bats. Started the year with San Diego. Arias bouncing that one, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike to Jody Garrett, formerly with the Cleveland Indians. He was drafted by Colorado in the 2nd round in '98. Had a really good year with Cleveland in '03. 22 homers, 75 runs batted in. Then he had a torn ACL on his right knee the next year. 2 balls, 1 strike. He was traded for Tony Gwynn Jr., who's done well with the Padres. Three balls, 1 strike to 31-year-old Jody Garrett, who has a history degree from Stanford. wonder if Dave Raymond knows it. Bounce it to first coast. And it gets by him and goes on through the right side. He tried to play it off to the side. And it got past him and on through, and Garrett reaches.
How old is Jody Garrett?
He is 31.
Dave probably would have come and gone already by the time Garrett got to Stanford. Well, that's an E3.
Did he touch that ball? Not that that matters, but I don't think he did. Don't have to touch it to be charged with an error. He did play it off to the side. Now it's Lopez batting. Lopez has walked 3 times. He's 0 for 2, but he scored 2 runs. There's strike 1. The Cardinals won 5-3 at Pittsburgh. A victory for Adam Wainwright. He's 13-7. Beat Charlie Morton, who's 2-5. Liner to left. A hit. Carlos Lee can't stop it from rolling to the wall. And now Garrett will run around third and come to the plate without a throw to make it 12-5. An RBI double by Lopez. Lopez getting his 31st run batted in. That's his 21st double.
4th time he's been on base tonight. Lopez doing what the Brewers were hoping when they acquired him, getting on base, hoping to spark this lineup. 3 walks and an RBI double for Lopez tonight. It's just a good job there, hitting that 2-seamer, running away from him, hitting it the other way.
It's a dozen hits for Milwaukee. The scoring parade continues for the Brewers. Mike Cameron got the first hit of the game. That was after a leadoff walk to Lopez. A single in the first inning. He's 1 for 4 with a walk. Arias stretches for it, can't get there. Barehanded Blum, low throw, safe at first. A hit for Cameron, his 2nd of the game. 1st and 3rd now with nobody out for Ryan Braun.
And yet that's still not the weakest hit of the night for the Brewers. That belongs to J.J. Hardy way back in the 2nd. A little pop up over the mound. But they've had plenty of hard hit balls as well. Chris Coase just coming off the bag and knocking that ball down. No chance to get Cameron. He's an author, you know, Mike Cameron.
Didn't know that.
He wrote a book called It Takes a Team.
Okay.
Geared for kids.
He's been known as a good teammate. Braun looks at ball 1. Braun ripped a 2-run single in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 5. Cardinals are now 10 games above 500 with their win at Pittsburgh. 61-51. Little roller here. Also a difficult play.
Killing me softly with his song.
Base is loaded.
For Prince.
Oh
my. Oh man. So we got a ground ball to first base. Chewed up Chris Coase and went for an error. Lopez hit a legit double. And then 2, you got to be kidding me, infield knocks. Nobody out, bases juiced. With Big Prince in the batter's box.
And he homered last time up. He has a single and a double as well. 3 for 5 tonight.
Now, depending on how this plays out, somebody's going to look at that box score tomorrow. The boy, Arias really got lit up in Houston last night.
You're right. By the way, strike 1.
Maybe that'll be the next addendum to the box score. The nature of the hit.
Yeah. Quantitative analysis is necessary sometimes on box scores.
Be a little asterisk. It was a base hit, but it was really a weak little blooper behind the mound.
A dribbly little squirrely little hit.
But it's a lot of damage from the Brewers here tonight. The starters, position players with at least 1 base hit.
No balls, 2 strikes to Fielder. And it's 1-2 for Alberto Arias. Last time he pitched Wednesday game, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, and 1 inning in the 10-6 loss to San Francisco. Fielder looks at that one. It's 2-2. With the Cardinals winning, the Cubs would like to follow suit.
Tough night to be an Astro pitcher. Bad luck, tight strike zone. Can't whine about it though. You just got to keep battling.
Bouncer Arias. He comes home for 1. Pudge to first. Double play. 1, 2, 3.
He deserved that. Humberto did. Right back at him, and fortunately on the glove side. And Pudge has all kinds of time, so he takes a look at third. He has no play there. And finishes off the double play by getting Prince.
Now in this 12-5 game, runners at second and third for Casey McGee with 2 outs. Fly ball behind second base. And Sui gloves it. And in the 9th, the Brewers come up with a run on 3 hits with 1 error. They leave 2. It's 12-5 Milwaukee. F-150 by the Progressive Insurance Group and by Budweiser. In downtown Houston, it is 12-5 Milwaukee. 14 hits for the Brewers, 11 for the Astros. A lot of hitting and runs scored tonight for these fans on a Saturday night. Now it's Jody Garrett staying in to play center field after reaching on the error and scoring a run in the 9th inning. And it's Mike Burns, former Astros right-hander, coming in with a 2-4 record and a 6.06 ERA.
Haven't seen hide in her hair, Mike Burns, in quite a while. When was he up with the Astros?
2005. Mike now 30 years old. Just turned 31 a few weeks ago. Hunter Pence calls it back, strike 1. Mike pitched in 27 games for the 05 Astros, coming up from Round Rock during that season. And then he was a Cincinnati Red the next year, and with Boston in 06. Spent 07 and 08 in the minor leagues. He was with the Iowa Cubs last season, going 8-12 there with a 4.67 ERA. No balls, 2 strikes. Signed by Milwaukee as a minor league free agent this January. He's from Cal State, Los Angeles. Born in Westminster, California. 1-2 from Mike Burns. The Astros drafted him in the 30th round in 2000. Down to the shortstop, J.J. Hardy. 1 out. Our Texaco star performer of the game has had an illustrious career of slugging. El Caballo, Carlos Lee, hit his 300th career home run in the 7th inning tonight. He's 2 for 4 in this ball game. Here's number 300.
Joining Lance Berkman and Pudge Rodriguez, the 300 home run club. All 3 of them doing it this year. Mickey Tejada has 281. He's not going to get there this year. But big swing of the bat there for El Caballo. Congratulations.
Very nice moment for him and his family. Foul ball there, and it's no balls, 2 strikes to Carlos Lee. Quite a career milestone.
Even in defeat, he may get the red carpet treatment in the clubhouse.
Yeah, he might. Strikeout from Mike Burns.
When the players reach a milestone or have a real big game, the players will take a bunch of towels out of the showers and line a carpet to their locker.
Two outs, and it's Miguel Tejada. He's 0 for 4. Chris Smith in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, no runs, with no walks, no strikeouts. Strike 1 for Tejada. Manny Parra in line to be a winner for the 7th time this year. He would be 7-8 with a win tonight. Mike Hampton in line for the loss would be 7-9. 0-2 the count. And it looks like a rubber game of the series coming up at 1:05 tomorrow. Wandy Rodriguez and Giovanni Gallardo. Final game of the homestand tomorrow, and then the Astros are off for 4 in Miami against the Florida Marlins, and 3 in Milwaukee. So these teams in the hunt are going to be going at each other for the next period of time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ken Macha's club trying to get back to 500 with a win tonight.
Now, Cardinals already won tonight. They beat the Pirates 5-3. Cubs hanging on to a 6-5 lead late in Colorado. They're in the 8th inning there.
Center fielder Jody Garrett runs in for it. And that's it on a Brewers 12-5 win in Houston tonight. Mike Burns getting the final 3 outs. Ken Macha's club is back at 500, 55-55. The Astros are 54-56. Final score there in Milwaukee 12, Houston 5. Stay tuned.